All right, guys. All right, team. So today we've got ADP non-farm employment change, as well as we got ADP non-farm employment change data, as well as jobless claims, as well as ISM manufacturing PMI, as well as some earnings. I think yesterday we had AI earnings. Today we got Dollar General, Macy's, Billy earnings. We'll see. We also had European CPI come out. We're gonna do a poll here. Let me get this ready. All right, so the market's mostly bouncing. My swing trades are doing great, man. Honestly, we bought up Walmart, Walgreens. Uh, we bought up Walgreens, Walmart. Uh, yesterday, we're still in Disney. Disney's back up nicely today. We've got a little bit of J.P. Morgan, PayPal, Coca Cola, Walgreens, Walmart, gold, Disney are my trades right now, and we're green today, so that's nice. Does the market bounce on today's economic data? Is the question. There's the vote. There's the poll. Vote on that number. Let me know what you guys think. What's up, Kenny, DS, Gia, Min? Good morning, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me hit my coffee real quick. I gotta wake up a little bit. Oh man. Hey, good luck, Gia. Hope you make money. What's up, Soul Runner? What's up, man? Oh man, I actually got enough sleep last night. It feels good too. Uh, what's up, James? All right, so again, today we got payroll numbers. It's not actual payroll numbers. It's non-farm employment numbers. All right, there we go. Posting this now. Must have coffee. Yeah, man. I'm a coffee drinker. Honestly, ironically, or maybe not so ironically, I didn't drink coffee when I first growing up, I never drank coffee. Like I only started drinking coffee when I started live streaming about 6 years ago. Uh so so I haven't actually been a coffee drinker most of my life. Like most of my life I didn't drink coffee. Most of my life I did not drink coffee, and I just didn't drink coffee. I didn't drink coffee until I was like 30, you know. But that's when I really started waking up really early. And so once I started to wake up really early, it became a little bit different, I think. Yeah, like I remember my mom used to make coffee for me, but and she would like give me coffee, but like yeah, we'll put the timer up. Yeah, we'll put the timer up. I already got about 50 people here in about 2 minutes. Again, my swing trades are doing great. Yeah, my parents drank coffee, but it wasn't like excessive. It wasn't like excessively drinking coffee or anything like that. Is my computer broken or something? Whoa, my computer's weird right now. I was showing them these AI headshots yesterday. These AI headshots are up. You know, people always said I look like Ryan Felipe, and I never saw it. Like, I never saw it. I could kind of see it in these AI pictures, although, like, I look a little bit more Weasley than Ryan Felipe, I think, but that's all right. All right. Yeah, but I think most people drink coffee. Yeah, bro. Honestly, my computer's acting weird. Whoa, dude. My toolbar is like going away. Bro, so my whole toolbar is not letting me search for anything. Weird. Let's click this. There we go. Now it is. I might have to exit out of some stuff here, man. I might have too much stuff up on this computer right now. Yeah, for sure. Grandparents. Let me get some music playing here. Bear with me, team. Pun intended, I guess. Swing trades are doing lovely right now, though. Yeah, man. I don't honestly. Documents, pictures, easy store, USB. Yeah, I'm trying to put my timer up. For whatever reason, it's not letting me. I don't know why. It's not letting me with my timer today. Should have reset my computer overnight, but that's all good. I'll put some music on so it's less boring. There you go. All right, so did they do the vote on the debt ceiling? All right, guys, so the debt ceiling deal went through. The House of Reps passed a bill yesterday night, to suspend the nation's debt limit through January of 2025. So the deal is done. The House of Representatives passed a bill last night to suspend the nation's debt limit through January. So that deal is done. That is probably what's making the market pop. Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm just glad for my trades today. My trades today, I can still be green in them, so that's all good. You know, I'm happy for that. I mean, I'm in a couple swing trades, and so like I want to just be able to be green in these trades. So, you know, I'm okay with them procrastinating it a couple years until 2025. You know, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and ban this guy, Pink Lemonade. The reason I'm banning him is because he's just a troll user. He showed up yesterday and he's just trying to, he threatened to leave. He threatened to never come back. He threatened all this crazy stuff, just being dramatic and weird. And now he's the first one here this morning. That's generally how the haters act. Good day to you, sir. Interesting how you're the first one here, yet you said you would never be back. Good day to you, sir. What's up, DS? Yeah, man, market's gapping up today. Again, we bought Walmart yesterday. We bought, we're green in almost everything. We're green in Disney for sure today. Green in JP Morgan, Coca-Cola, PayPal, WBA, Walmart. Really nice trades, to be honest here. Good morning, John. And all market is primed to go green. Tesla moved up at the end of the trade day. Nvidia recouping, I guess. Yeah, let me look at Nvidia here. How's it doing? It's back up some. Hey, that's right, Foo. Thanks, man. Said it is today, or we don't know. Let me vote. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Senate's today, but let me see when we're supposed to vote. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on like the thing about this debt vote is just like, when do they feel like dealing with this? Is it going to be now? They're pushing it back 2 years is fine if they deal with it then, but I guess the question you have to ask yourselves is, do you want a financial, crash now or later? All right, so the Senate is expected to pass by this weekend after the Senate Majority Leader Schumer and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell endorsed it. So yeah, it'll probably pass the Senate this weekend. By this weekend is what I'm looking at. And the SPY is obviously loving this. It's up to 419s. What's up, Pawn? CME tool showing 66% for a pause right now. Let me see. Has it really? Did it pivot already? Man, dude, it's just going back and forth right now. Yeah, 67% of people expecting a pause currently. And this has been going back and forth. Which is interesting because, I think it'll be really telling in terms of like what CPI shows up as. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could potentially pause. I'm not sure what we're gonna do, of course, but yeah. Yeah, exactly, Adam. That's kind of what happens. SDA? What is SDA? Oh, I don't know. It could. It also could crash down to under 10, and this is just something that gamblers are, trading. Y'all be careful. This is a low float overseas obscure company that nobody's ever heard of. And so this one does have a lot of risk involved with it. Just be careful. Yeah, all good pawn. Chewy moving up. Yeah, Chewy had great earnings yesterday. So Chewy had good earnings. So yeah, Chewy had good earnings yesterday. So we'll see if that holds. Yeah, I'm not taking advantage of SDA. I mean, again, this is just a low float. Like, I can look at the float here, but I don't think I need to. Yeah, low float, crazy momentum. Just be careful. I mean, it could hit 100 today, or it could dump down to 10 or something, you know. And so nobody knows what it's going to do. Y'all just be careful. If we don't pause, do you think the market will dip hard? I don't know. It's usually what we expect. So it depends on what they expect. Most of the time, I think in that situation, the market might dip, but I think it's going to happen before the rate hike decision, not afterwards. You know? So, like, I think the market might dip in that situation, but it's going to happen before the rate hike, not afterwards. You know? All right. All right. Sorry, guys. All right, guys. But yeah, look at the SPY. Look at AI, NVIDIA. We're going to put some other charts up here. So here's NVIDIA pulling back a little bit. Here's the Q. Here's Tesla. Trying as well. Tesla up to over 202s right now. We got NVIDIA up here as well. Gapping up a little bit after a pullback over the last few days and microchips. All right, so I just exited out of some starter software that wasn't responding. Hopefully that should work. I can't see any news on Tesla spike yesterday afternoon. Can you? Yeah, I think Elon debuted the Model 3. All right, so maybe he's rumored to debut the Model 3 today, the new Model 3. And so I think that's what's making it jump. So it's rumored to show the new Model 3 today. That's the indexer on my computer. Anybody have any issues with this? The index on my computer isn't working. All right, guys. And again, Tesla up to 202.60s here. NVIDIA at 385s. So NVIDIA's trying to run. Whoa. Why did it go back to this? That's weird. Let me add that back here. Wait a bit after markets to trade everyone. Yeah, I mean, the market might be choppy. Again, it might not be. We don't know yet. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. All right, nice. Got the timer up. All right, so we got the timer working here. We have about an hour. It is now 6:41. We got about an hour. We got about an hour and 50. We got an hour, about an hour and 47 and a half minutes, I believe. If my math is right. Yep, that's math. All right, an hour and 47 minutes until the numbers drop today, guys. You can see Tesla's up big. Tesla's up to 202.60s here. NVIDIA still making a comeback. Again, a lot of our trades are green. Walmart green. Walgreens green. I told you guys we were buying Walgreens and Walmart yesterday, and Walgreens ripped up a lot. Really nicely. Our average there is 29s. Walgreens is at 30 plus. Walmart, we bought it at 145s. We're at basically 147.50s. We also bought what else do we buy? We're still in PayPal. We're riding PayPal up, and PayPal is very green today too. What else am I in here? Sorry guys, let me check. We're in JP Morgan, PayPal, Disney, Gold, Coca-Cola. KO must have turned around a little bit, I think. Yeah, so KO dipped a little bit. It's still we're still pretty flat in this one. Our average is 59.79. It's at 59.79. So yeah, we're basically completely flat on Coca-Cola. And I've also scaled out of it as well. So we took most of our profit as it was popping up big yesterday because we were streaming at the closing bell yesterday. So yeah, I'll take it. But best trade today is probably Disney here. Disney almost up to $89 again. So we're just going to let that keep riding up. Yeah, Elon's supposed to show that new Model 3. Get the AI tool where you make your eyes look at us while you look at your other screens. Is there a real tool that does that, Clinton? What's good software to see charts? I don't know, bro. Again, today we got the non-farm employment data. Twilio and Path. What does it do? I've never heard of that software. And again, so the Senate's going to vote sometime before this weekend on the deal. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Again, NVIDIA at 383.80s here. Tesla at 202.75. SPY is up there still, and we might actually take some trades today. It looks like I exited out of Quant Tower. Let's pull up Quant Tower again, maybe trade some futures early this morning here. We can't actually take any profit or anything like that on our other trades until 7. But again, we still got an hour and 45 minutes before everything drops. Hey, what's up, Lewis? Hey, what's up, sir? Yeah, I gotta look that up now, man. All right, guys. Bro, I get these bots that show up every day talking about ban them. There we go. I contact AI NVIDIA. Okay, let me check it out. Yeah, I mean, I look away constantly. I'm very kind of, like, believe it or not, I'm kind of socially awkward. Wow, that is crazy good, dude. Because, like, I'm very socially awkward as it is. Like, I'm kind of an introvert, believe it or not. I think a lot of people don't understand, but, like, I'm an introvert by nature. The irony is that I create this community where I have thousands of people here sometimes. Like today at 8:30, we'll have over 1,000 people here, and like it's ironic because I'm really not extroverted at all. I mean, I kind of am. I don't know what you would call me. Like I can be extroverted if I want to. I just don't want to most of the time, you know. So it's like I don't know what they would call me, where I can be extroverted, but I don't like to be. I guess I'd be an introvert. I don't know. But yeah, if that makes sense, right? So it's like I could be extroverted and play it off really well and seem like I'm super outgoing if I want to. But by nature, I'm really not, you know. But no, this AI technology looks really good. The only thing though is like I don't use OBS anymore. You know, OBS was too like difficult to manage. You know, so I don't use OBS anymore. I just use StreamYard. Yeah, I don't like looking at cameras either. SPY at 419s. We'll see if it holds. Nvidia at 383.60s. Tesla at 202s. Again, Coca-Cola dipped. Why did Coca-Cola dip so hard yesterday before the open? All right, so the Shanghai party chief welcomes Tesla to deepen the cooperation on areas including EV and energy storage. We also had a European CPI drop early this morning. So we did have Euro CPI drop early this morning here. If you look at Bloomberg or Market Watch, European CPI did drop really early this morning. It came in lower than expected. So European CPI came in at 6.1% versus 6.3% expected. That might be influencing whether we raise rates or not too. Not a heavy amount. Like European CPI is not the biggest release. It drops at 5 a.m. But it's still relevant, you know, and I don't know how much it's going to influence everything. So the ECB publishes the account of monetary policy meeting. What is that? And then today we got ADP non-farm employment change and jobless claims numbers. And then later on today we got ISM manufacturing PMI. So today's actually the busiest day of the week. Tomorrow we have unemployment as well as payroll numbers. So like it's a busy week. So yeah, tomorrow we have non-farm payrolls and unemployment data. But yeah, that's what we're currently in now. Meta on the go. Yeah, good morning. Is Meta still ripping up? Yeah, Meta at 268. Meta is flying up here, man. Kind of goes to show, like, sometimes, like, what I think Nvidia, Meta, Disney, you know, and a lot of these show over time is that I think what a lot of these show is that a lot of the time when people are talking about how companies are over, especially blue chip companies, like if somebody's talking about how they're done, they're over, they're not going to survive, they're going to fail as a company, sometimes that might be a good entry price. A lot of people talked about Meta this way, including me to a certain extent. If I'm being completely honest, I discounted Meta's potential rebound capabilities, and it proved me wrong here for sure, man. Meta has bounced back very heavily. This thing was at like under $100 last year in November, October. It was at $88 in November of last year. It is now at almost 300 at about 270 currently this morning at about 270. So that is a crazy big gain. That is 300% gain in less than a year. That's a crazy move for a blue chip company. 300% in a year, in less than a year. This is in like what? This was in November. So this was in like 7 months, 8 months. 300% gain for Meta here. And so again, what it shows you is that when a lot of people are acting like companies are done, if they're still bringing in good money, they're still okay. And Meta has been no exception to that, just flown up big. Yes, Salesforce had earnings yesterday as well. They did great. Same thing with CrowdStrike. Like what was interesting about CrowdStrike and Salesforce yesterday is that they both had pretty good numbers. They both had better than expected EPS, better than expected sales. But for whatever reason, they didn't react super well. They didn't like it. They dropped a lot. It was a Benzinga news about a fund manager bullish on Meta and Amazon. What was? Why Meta's gapping up this morning is what you're referencing, I'm guessing. Yeah, so Meta basically going in with Cali over proposed journalism usage fees. Yeah, I don't see any. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything super big in that regard. I see the big thing I see right now is that, like, basically what I can gather from just reading over this over the last 20 seconds or so is that Meta is battling with California. Apparently, California is trying to pass journalism usage fees. Uh, they said they would, quote, remove news content from Facebook and Instagram in California, quote, rather than pay into a slush fund that benefits out of state media companies if Cali passes legislation forcing tech companies to pay publishers. The bill fails to recognize that publishers and broadcasters put their content on our platform themselves. Meta spokesperson Andy Stone said in a tweeted statement, "It's disappointing that Cali lawmakers appear to be prioritizing the best interests of national and international media companies over their own constituents." In December, Meta said it would remove news from its platform if Congress passed a bill that resembles the proposed Cali legislation. So, yeah, they're battling with California right now over usage, having to pay journalism usage fees, which is really interesting. Well, I mean, you know, Meta's certainly not a fictional company, sir. Meta is a huge company that has a ton of really high value assets. Instagram, Facebook, regardless of whether we use Facebook as a social media platform, one thing that's taken off is Marketplace. So, like, Facebook Marketplace is kind of becoming the new eBay, you know? And so, sure, I think the metaverse as a whole, there's an argument for that's demise. I think that might be failing. But Meta as a company is still pretty solid. I mean, they have a lot of really high value assets. Yeah, the metaverse, I can agree with you for sure, Chris. The metaverse is just struggling. Yeah, exactly, Finn. That's just a way to tax more and remove some news. And so I actually agree with Meta here. I don't think they should be trying to charge, because again, what Meta said was accurate, which is that journalism, these companies are choosing to put their content on Facebook, and so to make Facebook pay them for the content that they are intentionally choosing to put on their platform is just kind of out there in terms of, like, fees. It's just kind of unnecessary. Um, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, what I'm scared of to do in California is just, like, it's so expensive out there, man. It's so expensive, I don't know how much, like, businesses are really protected there either. I don't know. All I can go by is what I hear on the news, and maybe that's sensationalized to a certain extent. I don't know. I have some family that lives in Cali. Like, a sister-in-law lives in Cali. I've never actually, like, I've been to California, but I've never actually been. I've never actually, like, hung out there. I know it's a beautiful state and it's really cool. And my sister lived out there for a little while, but yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I think they should do something about that for sure. And I have empathy for the homeless. I really do. But I also understand, like, to a certain extent, like, maybe not in California. Maybe California is an outlier, but, like, a lot of people, if they're homeless, it's their own doing. They're choosing to live that way a lot of the time. Um, And so, because I think anybody that really wants to work can, especially in this modern age, you know. But maybe again, California might be a little bit different. Again, that's how I view it. Of course, there's outliers to that. There's exceptions to that rule, of course, and I understand people get a bad run of luck. They get a bad go at things, and that's unfortunate. It really is. You know what I mean? I feel for them. I really do. But I also think that a lot of them are addicted to stuff. You know, a lot of them are addicted to stuff, and you know they have easier access on the streets, and so like that's kind of how they choose to live their life. And again, that's their choice. I'm not mad at them for it. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Shah? Yeah, definitely top three. Greatest ever right here, bro. Right here, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Meta is up. I don't know why Meta is running to be right now. Somebody else said that a Benzinga article came out. Macy's just dropped their earnings just now, guys. Macy's just dropped their numbers here. We'll put the Macy numbers up right here. So here is Macy's numbers right here. So again, we'll see if they hold. But Macy's dropping their numbers here. And they are dropping down a little bit. Macy's just posted a 56-cent EPS on revenue of 4.98. So light revenue, better than expected EPS on light revenue. We also had Dollar General just drop their numbers too. We'll put these numbers up in chat as well. DG dropping their numbers, 234 EPS versus 238 expected. So lower than expected EPS, lower than expected sales as well here for DG, Dollar General. Right, for sure, Paulo, 100%. Absolutely agree. Yeah, I don't think cannabis has much to do with it, TJ. I think addictions to other more like you got to understand like the cycle of it, and the cycle of it really goes like this. And I've seen it, man. I've seen it. The cycle of it really goes like this, where it's not cannabis. It is physical dependence things, right? It's things that cause physical dependence, right? So like if they can't stop or they'll get sick, right? They will stay on the streets and keep using. That's the cycle of it more than anything else. Cannabis doesn't have much to do with it because cannabis is not physically addicting. You could do a bunch of cannabis one day and then not do any for a month and not get sick at all, but opioids, there's just a lot of examples of drugs that'll do that to you. Those are real ones that cause problems in that regard. It's the ones that cause physical dependence that people can't get off of because they'll get sick. Those are the ones that really cause a lot of that stuff. Macy's dropping down under 12s. Coca-Cola is bouncing up today. We were red on it a little bit because it dipped before the closing bell. SoFi, I don't know. SoFi is a stock that it's a little bit small cap for me to be trusting in it. I don't know enough about it. Yeah, alcohol is definitely one for sure. Alcohol has some of the most dangerous withdrawal symptoms over anything else. Yeah, SoFi. I mean, I'm watching SoFi. I watch SoFi and all the bank stuff going on. SoFi at 680s right now, 680s. SoFi's been on a little run too, man. It tapped sevens. The only question is like, it's had a big percentage run, but prior to this, it's had a big percentage drop. So, but it's not the worst looking stock on a daily chart. It's about flat. It's about break even on a daily chart. So it's not bad. It could be worse. Yeah, for sure, Chris. That's the like I've known some over the years, and that's kind of how it goes, man. Because like we used to give money to some, and again, I'm not judging all of them. I'm sure there's certainly outliers, and there's certainly I've been lucky enough not to be put in any super hard situations recently, and so I understand that. I understand for sure. I wish him the best. I have no ill will towards him or anything. But yeah, Natty Gas. Yeah, Chewy gapped up really high. Chewy gapped up really high. No, so Chewy had good earnings play, so Chewy gapped up a lot. Again, Coca-Cola back up today too, which is nice. Walmart falling down a little bit, but I've already taken most of my profit on Walmart, which is nice. We're already up so much already. I don't know what I want to do with it. I could buy more. I could just sit on the rest. I think I'll probably just sit on the rest and wait. Natty Gas. Yeah. But yeah, Coca-Cola bouncing back a little bit. Look at Macy's. So Macy's dipped on their earnings report, and now they're bouncing up a little bit here too. They're up to 1240s, but big dip on Macy's earnings. And again, they posted better than expected EPS, lower than expected revenue. They cut fiscal year EPS view guidance down. They expected 373. They only showed 320. They cut fiscal year revenue as well. So Macy's bad guidance, bad revenue. Yeah, I feel for them, man. I really do. I feel for them. Yeah, I mean, Pepsi is the same as Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew. I haven't drank Mountain Dew in years. Once I gave up sugar, it's been hard to drink it. I don't drink Coke very often either. Again, KO at 59.80s here. 59.80s. We got Walmart at 146.50s. Macy's back up though. Tesla's still trying. SPY bounced it up a little bit as well here, so that looks good. Disney, man, look at Disney. Nice little bounce back. We'll give it time. Yeah, all good, Corey. NetApp, what's the symbol? NET? Oh, NTAP. I don't know anything about NetApp company. Did they drop earnings? Looks like they did. So yeah, I'll try to drop numbers. Let me see what they showed. But the Boeing CEO says it should focus on current competition and not get overly anxious about competing planes. But yeah, let me look at NetApp, NTAP symbol. All right, so NetApp yesterday dropped numbers. So NetApp yesterday dropped numbers. They dropped it. I'll put the number up in chat. Here's NetApp right here. Oh, no, wait, that's Dollar General. My bad. Here, hold on. That's the wrong one. Here is NetApp right there. How long should I hold NVIDIA for an increase of $100 since yesterday's close? No offense, John, but your question makes absolutely no sense, dude. I don't know what your size is. I don't know how much you bought. I don't know anything about your trade. How would I know when you make $100, bro? That's just a silly question, man. Again, what I advise you to do is research how to trade and invest. Okay, I have no idea. Even if I knew what your sizing was, I have no idea what NVIDIA is going to do today. Nobody does. So again, look up how to invest. look up some free courses on investing and trading, and then research that. Again, I have no idea. Uh, yeah, I've used it to clean my battery. You pour it if you have too much corrosion on your battery outlets on your car battery. You pour some Coca-Cola, it dissolves it away. They say it's a myth, but I've used that since I was young. Yeah, I've done it a lot too growing up. One share? I don't know, man. Do what you do, make your money, bro. I don't know. CRM, I don't know. CRM is one of those interesting ones where it had relatively good earnings. I think the guidance numbers made CRM drop as much as it did. Again, here is Salesforce and CrowdStrike numbers are right here. Salesforce did 169, beat 161 estimates. Sales of 8.25 beat the 8.18 estimates here. So Salesforce did pretty good. They might have had bad guidance though. Let me see. CRM is the symbol. All right, so Salesforce had good guidance too, man. Oh, so the Salesforce's problem is they see quarter two adjusted EPS of 189 to 190 versus, oh no, that was even good too. Yeah, I'm gonna buy Salesforce down here. The problem is how extended is Salesforce right now? Over the last like 20 days, it's up a lot, but I might buy up a little piece of it here. Not a lot, like. It's just down so much. I'm gonna buy 10 shares down here. Again, it's just down so much. I think there might be an argument for a dip by there. I don't know. Because they had better than expected EPS, better than expected sales, good guidance. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I do, Shepard. If you guys hear the strategy that I talk about a lot, a lot of the time what I'll do is I'll wait for a stock to have good earnings, good revenue, good guidance, and if they dip really heavily, I'll buy that dip and I'll sit on it for a few weeks. But again, the whole point of the trade, it depends on what it is. Like there's always exceptions to this rule of trading because especially with like AI hype right now, like there's some arguable extension on the upside for AI plays right now. And so like those are some where it's not really going to work the best, I think, sometimes because of extension that's already in play that the market already sees. Like for instance, like Nvidia is up so much right now. And so Nvidia could have a really heavy dip. It doesn't mean you should buy it up because Nvidia is so extended on the upside. The PE ratio is over 200. It's just, a really extended move. Now, if AI ends up turning out to be really big and groundbreaking, sure, you can make money for it, but it's not one that I'll ultimately hold forever. I'll still buy up these plays and try to make money on them, but these are not stuff that I'll buy and sit on forever, I guess is the point. What's up, Hugo? GLB. Wonder what the short interest is. If trading was easier, I don't think I would still be as interested or eager. Yeah, I've always been I always like testing myself and doing strategy games. Like what it got me involved with trading was I was a poker player. I love poker. Poker is kind of like my first game that I really started to want to master, if that makes sense. Right. So I love poker. Poker is kind of my game. And poker is a strategy game. Like people don't understand. A lot of people that don't understand poker don't understand really what it is. Poker is a game where if you get good enough at it, it can make you tons of money, and so it's a strategy game. It really is. It's kind of like chess or like checkers or kind of like trading. Poker is very much like that. There's a lot of parallels to trading as well. Like you can calculate pot odds in poker, and it's very similar to risk reward calculation. Like for instance, if the whole table around you, say you got 6 people there, um, say the whole table around you puts up 100 chips, right? Say the whole table puts up 100 chips, uh, and you only have to put in 100. And even if you have a bad hand, you're gonna have 6 to 1 odds in that hand. So like even if you have a bad hand, if you win, you're gonna win 6 times your money. So like essentially in trading terms, your risk reward scenario in that situation is 6 to 1. Uh, and so even if you have what would be conventionally a bad hand, like 5-7 offsuit, it's still probably worth it to call. Especially if it's like 50 chips would be a better example. Then you have 12 to 1 pot odds, right? If you have to put in 50 chips, uh, to make 600, you'd have 12 to 1 pot odds. So very similar to like risk reward calculation in poker. And by that logic, you should call with most hands. Depends on what it is. Like especially like suited connectors or like something like that. Like the point is, it's a strategy game, and like the more you play it, the better at it you get. And trading is very similar to that. There's a lot of parallels. So I got involved with trading because I was a poker player. And then I watched the movie The Big Short, and I realized that I could do essentially what I was doing in poker, but in a much larger sense with trading in the stock market. And that's what ultimately got me to start this channel. Well, yeah, but he's a billionaire now because of poker. He's a billionaire because he founded BioSplice biotech company. Still impressive, but yeah. Sheesh, man, tell him to throw you a couple dollars, bro. My man's a billionaire. Bro, if I had a billionaire childhood friend, dude, I'd be hitting him up like, hey, dude, I got this great business idea, bro. Yeah. Origin story. Which is more important, non-farm or jobless claims? I don't know. Jobless claims drops weekly. Non-farm data is the prelim data to non-farm payroll. So today we have like non-farm, or tomorrow we have non-farm payrolls dropping at 8:30. Those are all relevant to inflation, recession woes, all that stuff. Today we have the prelim non-farm employment data, which is called the non-farm employment change data. So it's kind of the prelim data today, and then we get the main numbers tomorrow. So I don't know. I think they're pretty similar in terms of like weight of movements. Yeah. I mean, I bought a bunch of blue chips yesterday. I bought Walgreens, Walmart, Coca-Cola, uh, a couple other things too. So I'm pretty green in pre-market this morning. Yeah, I bought a little bit of Salesforce. I just want to see if we bounce. It had good EPS, good sales, good guidance numbers, but it dropped big percentages. And so because of that, I bought up a little bit. So yeah, CRM. About the dip. We'll see if we're green a little bit in this one, not a ton though. We're also green at Disney right now. Hey, what's up, Beach? What's your job and your hobbies, stylist? This is Thinkorswim, TD Ameritrade. All right. So many signs. Maybe Ronald. I don't know. Stylist. Oh yeah. Sorry, I should have seen that. I'm dumb. Estimated 20 to 24%. Yeah, I mean, I think that's obvious though, but I think a lot of that has to do with the addiction and stuff like that. To be honest, I mean, if we're just being real, I think a lot of it has to do with addiction. Um, no, no, that's cool. Poker's fun. What's up, Rocco, Layla, Richard? Yeah, it's just a tough thing right now, man. Like I think with kids, you have to be authoritative, right? So like with children, you have to be authoritative parents. You know, psychologists figured this out a long time ago, which is that you got to be authoritative. You can't be authoritarian, right? Which is like you can't be tyrannical as a parent. You know, you have to be authoritative. So you have to be firm but fair. So like you have to have restrictions. You have to be firm with like your kids' decisions, with what your kids do. You have to be a parent. You have to be a guardian in that regard. You know, in that regard. Uh, but you also have to be fair. You can't be tyrannical. If you're tyrannical, your kids will grow up happy. If you're too lenient, if you let them just do whatever they want, they're going to grow up unhappy, and they're not going to grow up balanced. And so the sweet spot is right in the middle in terms of parenting, where you got to be firm but fair. It's called authoritative. And I think the problem nowadays is too many swing to one side of that range. Like, you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely the bad cop in my household, you know. I call myself the police of the house, the house police, you know. Unless it's my daughter, you know, then I'm kind of my daughter goes to me if she wants something because she knows that I'll just kind of, you know. But my son, I'm definitely the cop, you know. uh, Yeah, so Tesla at 202.40 is here. The SPY at 419s. I kind of want to buy this dip here. I don't know if I am yet. Let's see. I think we lost a little bit yesterday. Yeah, we lost a little bit. Not a ton. We lost like 180 bucks. Could be worse. What is Salesforce's PE? Let me take a look. As of Benzinga right now, Salesforce PE currently is 1,000. No, that can't be right. This must be off. Let me refresh this. Still showing 1,000. I'm gonna have to look this up manually. It might be okay, so yeah, we're gonna look this up manually here. So Salesforce, let's look this up. All right, so we'll calculate the formula here. And the formula is you add up the last 4 quarters of EPS, and then you take the price of the stock and you divide it by whatever that number turns out to be. It's a 169 yesterday plus 168 plus 140 plus 119. All right, so the yearly EPS value is about 6. We'll call it 5.96. Right, and so then you take the current price of Salesforce, which is about 209, and you divide it by 6, and you get the PE ratio of about $34, or about 34, which is not a bad PE, especially in modern age with inflation problems and stuff like that, right? So 34 is not bad. You know, when you compare that to something like Nvidia now, which is at like 190 or something for PE, Amazon's up there over 100. You know, at 34, 35, we'll call it 35 since with rounding, 35 PE is not terrible for Salesforce, especially with all the AI boom going on right now. I mean, if they're getting into AI and they have stuff to do with AI, then, you know, it's arguably going to go up. And again, they're down a lot. I kind of like it. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, no worries, Rock. What is suit and tie? Is that a song? I don't know what you're talking about. Dollar General's at its all-time low. I mean, I kind of understand that for DG though. Like the problem with DG is simple. Like people aren't going to use them that much anymore. You know, people that need to go to DG, they're just going to order their stuff off of Amazon and get it for just as cheap, if not cheaper, than they're going to do and have to pay gas and go to the store and drive to the store and all that stuff. I think Dollar General's in trouble, you know. All right, so again, we're pulling back a little bit on CRM, but we're going to hold that, I think. All right, so Salesforce dipping down a little bit. SPY pull it back. I kind of want to buy this dip in the SPY. We'll see if we do here. I probably can buy a little bit of these future trades here. We can build up a little cushion in pre-market. I might buy this dip ahead of this. We still got about an hour before this data comes out. Still got an hour. So we still got a lot of time. All right, so we went ahead and bought 3 contracts in the micro on this pullback here. So 3 contracts in the micro. Hey, what's up, Ride? Yeah, I think DG might be in trouble. I think the whole sector is in trouble, Chris. We might add another contract here too. But yeah, I think the whole sector might be in trouble. I think I don't think it's one individual like brand of that. I think it's all of them. I think over time they're all going to fade more and more out. I think those type of brick and mortar stores are going to be less profitable to open, and that's going to make more skepticism show up regarding like building those businesses to begin with. That's going to make the stores dwindle down. That's going to make people go to them even less because there's going to be less name brand and value. And so I think over the next 10 years, you're going to see all that stuff just kind of fade away. People just online shopping has become too convenient to really go to Dollar General anymore, to be honest, or Big Lots or stuff like that. I think people just order that stuff online now. And I think over time, it's going to become more and more often for online orders instead of retail shopping. Yeah, but rent's not cheap though, Chris. That's the difference. Especially like commercial is crashing right now to begin with. For these exact reasons, like commercial real estate is really struggling right now. And the reason it's struggling is because businesses just, can't operate as well anymore with remote work happening, with more people choosing to work at home, with businesses allowing people to work from home. The commercial market's struggling right now. Let me see if I can find a commercial real estate graph. It's so hard to find an actual graph here. Let me look at commercial real estate ETF. All right, so we can look at stuff like URE. And so this is real estate. And so look, this is real estate over the last 2 years. This is one of the this is a real estate sector stock ETF graph. And it is a struggle for sure. Like this is it since basically 2021. So since November of 21, the real estate market has fallen heavy. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure, Shepard. But yeah, so real estate, again, over the last couple of years has been a struggle for sure for this. So we got a nice little pop in our play here. We'll see if it continues up. We got 4 contracts right now. So pretty flat on the trade. We'll give it a little bit of time. This is futures, so we're day trading futures. We're basically buying the SPY right here. Let me put this up with the 200 EMA to see where that's at. Okay, yeah, so we're buying the 200 EMA pullback here. So that's nice. All right, so again, we're completely flat on this now. We're going to give this time. We're up about $5. All right, so now we're up 10. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good morning, Beach. Yeah, y'all go check out Beach Bum's channel. If you want some good swing trading content, Beach Bum's got a great channel on YouTube. I'll give that man a subscribe. Here's the link. Go give him a subscribe, support the channel. The link right there in chat. And we did get a nice little pop here. But pulling back a little bit now. I like the 200 EMA level, and I don't mind risking a little bit here. Like the last few days, we've lost money, but a few days prior to that, we made money, so we got some time. Yeah, man. Again, I think it's pretty obvious, like that dollar stores are gonna fade out. I think I've been saying this about a lot of stuff, and it's happened. Like one of the big ones I've been talking about. I've been telling people why Beyond Meat was a struggle, why Beyond Meat would probably fail, and Beyond Meat, since I've been saying this, has dropped down like 95%. I've been saying this about Peloton, and since then, Peloton has dropped down to basically $6, $7. I've been saying this about a lot of different companies because I think there's certain companies that are just obviously going to fail, right? Another one is Dish. I've been saying this about Dish for months, right? Dish is a company that is obsolete. You don't need to slap a satellite dish on your home anymore. You just don't need to. There's too many streaming apps, man. Like, again, you can stream basically anything that you get on these Dish, on Comcast. You can stream it all for way less than you would pay. Like, Comcast will charge you $500 a month, right? You can get everything that Comcast gives you with Amazon Prime, Netflix, and one cable TV service. One cable TV service, one streaming service, I mean. So like Sling TV or Hulu TV or YouTube TV, right? You can get everything that Comcast is going to give you for $100, maybe, and it's going to be way cheaper. And so you don't need to slap a satellite dish on your home anymore. It's another company that is just obviously going to fail. And I think Dollar General is another one. I think DG is going to fail long term. I think it's going to keep crashing. It's going to keep dropping. People are going to stop going to it. I think over a long run, I think it's in trouble. Yeah, but regardless of whether they have cable, Chris, they have internet, brother. They have internet. You don't need cable. Um, you don't need cable for Dish. You don't need cable. If you have internet, you have access to TV, right? That's the big difference. If you have internet, I'm gonna have to cut this little dip by. It's just kind of slowly starting to go against me now, so I'm gonna have to cut it. It's all good. We lost a little bit. But no, you don't need cable TV, man. That's my point. Is that you can use internet. You can use streaming services like Sling, like Hulu TV, like YouTube TV, and you're going to get everything that Comcast gives you, plus, and it's going to be cheaper. Same thing with DirecTV, same thing with Dish. Except the only problem is that Dish is vulnerable more than the other two, because the other two have diversified business models where they have phone carriers and they have all this different stuff where they have internet and phone and all these different services. Dish is pretty vulnerable, and so I think Dish over time will fail. Yeah, and again, I'm not arguing that satellite dishes are going away, Chris. What I'm arguing about is that the amount of people that need one is going to make the business model for Dish not viable. It's not going to be a viable business model anymore because the only people that really need it are in incredibly rural areas, and a lot of them are going to go with like Starlink and stuff like that. They're not going to use Comcast. They're not going to use Dish for cable anymore. And again, there's always going to be outliers, of course, that people need to use them. But again, over time, Dish is going to fail. I think it's incredibly obvious. But maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. But I could be. But I don't think I am. I think over time, Dish is going to fail. It just doesn't have a justifiable business model anymore. Not enough people need it. Over time, sales contracts are going to dry up. More people are going to go to streaming apps, streaming services, use Starlink to get internet. They're just not going to need Dish anymore. And Dish will probably end up falling down until it gets bought out by one of the big boys who just kind of take the customers and shut it down, is my guess of what will happen. But yeah. And I think it's incredibly obvious too. But again, I might be wrong. I'm going to remember your remarks about Dollar General, John. Hey, remember him, bro. I might be wrong, dude. I respectfully disagree on DG. I think small towns will always need that quick run stores. Sure. But again, is that business model... again, I'm not saying DG is just going to fail immediately. What I'm saying, though, is that... I think what will happen with Dollar General is that over time, people are going to use them less and less, right? It's going to make each individual brick and mortar store less viable to operate. That's going to close down stores. That's going to make the stock drop. The more the stock drops, the more people are going to be skeptical in opening up new stores, and that's going to over time dry up their business, right? To where instead of people going to Dollar Generals, people are instead, again, I think Dollar General will be around, but I think it's going to drop a lot in price over the next 10 years. I think by in 10 plus years, it's just going to be obsolete. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but the ones that I've talked about like this historically, I've been right on. Tilray, Peloton. So again, I could be wrong, and I might be wrong, and maybe I'm too confident in my predictions here, and that's certainly possible. I don't know, but I think it makes sense regarding Dollar General. I think Dish makes even more sense about why they're not going to succeed long term. And again, I could be wrong here. I don't know. I think when Dish is already at $6 a share, it's looking pretty bleak for them. How about Airbnb? What do you think about that? I think Airbnb will be fine. I think over time, I think competition is going to sprout up a little bit heavier because I think their fees are high. But I still think they're the top of the niche. They'll be okay short term. I don't know about long term. I'll expect apologies in 20 years about Dollar General. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. I expect you to do that. Again, everybody was mad at me yesterday, bro. They told me when I posted the AI numbers, man, I had a lot of people here that were like, this dude's reporting wrong numbers, bro. They were all critical. Again, what they're really trying to do is just cast doubt into my viewers. Like, I'm getting numbers wrong. I reported the numbers before everybody else did. But they told me my numbers were wrong. And I told them I expect them to all apologize once the earnings call starts and it confirms that my numbers were right. And sure enough, the earnings call started. And guess what? My numbers were right. Did I get apologies? Absolutely not. So I'm not going to hold my breath for apologies. But hey. Again, I might be wrong. I'm not saying it's not, of course, nothing's guaranteed. I could be wildly wrong. But again, I think what I said makes sense. I think Dollar General over time, if it doesn't go out of business completely, it's going to drop in value. I think Dish over time will probably either completely fail or get bought out by one of the big boys, if it's not already. But again, I just don't think people need to slap a satellite dish on their house anymore to get cable. It's just not something they need. Oh, I even doubted myself for a second when I got a bunch of people telling me I'm wrong in my chat. Again, I gotta consider I might be wrong. But again, once I saw that yesterday's date was on the report and that my numbers were right, I was, DirecTV is owned by AT&T, not Dish. Yeah, and that's exactly, so what Shepard said is exactly the reason. I think that's exactly the reason why satellite dishes are going to go bye-bye. It's because if you look at what Shepard says, she said, there's a satellite dish in my house, not sure when someone installed it. I'm afraid to remove it because it'll leave holes in my roof. That is exactly why satellite dishes overall are going to become obsolete in terms of cable TV. Again, you just don't need them anymore. You don't need them anymore. The closest thing we're going to have to this is something like Starlink for internet, not for cable. You don't need cable TV in that way. Satellite cable TV. Like what is going to happen? I'll tell you this. This is what's going to happen. Satellite internet companies like Starlink are going to become more and more common, right? What that's going to do is that's going to give people in rough areas that are far in very rural areas access to good internet. When those rural areas have access to good internet, they're going to then buy streaming TV services like Sling, like Hulu TV, like YouTube TV, like Fubo. They're going to buy services like that, and then they're going to use Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff to watch cable because, again, the streaming TV services have an edge over conventional cable for a lot of reasons. The main one is that there's no contract and it's much cheaper. Like if I wanted a Comcast TV plan, I would have to pay at least $200 a month, like $250 a month for Comcast cable. I can get Hulu TV for $60 a month, and I'll get all the channels that I would have gotten on Comcast. I get movie options. If I want to buy movies, I can just use Amazon Prime and rent movies and buy movies that way and store them. And it's just as effective as Comcast cable for a quarter of the price with no contract, right? That is what's going to happen. And again, I think even Comcast is going to struggle long term because people don't need to use them. Same thing for phone carriers as well. Like for phone plans, you don't need a contract anymore. You can get a no contract based phone plan. Same way. And so I think over time, I think AT&T and Comcast are still going to be around, but I think their margins are going to get hurt by stuff like this. And over time, it's definitely going to make the satellite cable companies go out of business eventually. Dollar General and stuff like that, I think they might still be around, but I think you have to understand how efficient Amazon shopping is and online shopping in general. And so I think where people used to go shop at dollar stores to get good discounts, I think people go to Amazon now and they get it shipped for free. And I think that's going to become more and more often. But again, it's arguable. CRM dipped a little bit. It's at 209.40s. And CRM, the PE ratio is not terrible for CRM. So the PE ratio is not horrible here. So I'm curious to see what happens with this one too. I ended up buying a little bit because it had good EPS, good sales. They raised their guidance. They had better than expected guidance. And the PE ratio is like 30s. So not too terrible. It could be worse, but yeah. All right, market bounced up a little bit here. Hey, what's up, Dave? We short sometimes. It just depends. Yeah, exactly. Don't tread on me. He said we canceled DirecTV and now use Tubi, Paramount, AMC Plus, HBO. Yeah, exactly. You do have a choice, though, Chris. That's the point, man. You do have a choice. You can use streaming services and get just as much cable TV as what they're going to charge you for way less. You know, you can get Hulu TV or YouTube TV or Sling TV, and you're going to get sports. You're going to get TV. You're going to get movies. It's going to be the same thing. You just don't have to slap a satellite dish on your house anymore. You know. SoFi, yeah, I see SoFi rip it up a lot. Stocks to buy if you need to leave for a week. I don't know. I don't know what you should buy. What I would do is look for really extended on the downside stocks over the last month and maybe buy those and sit on them. But ultimately, you're going to be at the mercy of the market. Market could do anything in a week, and we don't know what it's going to do. You know, I think that's too restrictive in terms of trading. Sure, it's not for everybody, Chris, but I think it's for most people. And I think, again, I'm sure there's still going to be some people that prefer to use satellite dishes, but I don't think it's going to be enough to justify Dish's business model moving forward. And I think that's the big thing. Like, you might have some people that still use them, but, you know, I don't think it's going to be enough. Again, we bought a little bit of CRM. We'll see what happens. We bought, like, how many shares did I buy this? I bought 10 shares, so small. And if we get a big bounce back, that, you know, I'll take advantage of it. Yeah, but you can't even trust the deals they give you, Fu. One of the reasons I hate Comcast is because they'll promise you a deal. They'll be like, yeah, we're going to give it to you for $150 flat out the door. No extra fees, no extra use costs, $150 flat. You're like, okay, great, sign me up. The next month you get your bill, it's like $275. And you're like, hey, what the heck, man? Y'all said $150. And then you call them and you're like, hey, man, this person, you know, last week told me $150. They had me to switch contracts and everything. What the heck happened? Now y'all are charging me $275. And they will just flat out deny that they ever told you that. they will just straight up lie to you and just say, "Oh, we never said that," and then you're locked in. That's what happened a lot. I eventually had to just cancel them. Yeah, again, we'll see what happens with today's jobless claims numbers. Jobless claims coming out today. We got the non-farm prelim data coming out today. So we get non-farm prelim data. We got about 40 minutes for all this stuff to drop. But yeah, we got the prelim data coming out today. Again, the way it works generally is on Wednesday, you'll get the non-farm prelim data. But because Monday was closed this week, we're getting that stuff today on Thursday. We also had European CPI drop. So Euro CPI dropped yesterday. We also had mortgage rates come out, and mortgage rates went up to almost 7%, 6.91%. Really rough for mortgage companies. And then today we have non-farm employment change data, which is the prelim non-farm payroll data. We have European unemployment rate came in at 6.5%. European CPI came in at 6.1 versus 6.3%. Core CPI came in lower than expected as well. So CPI data actually came in pretty good. We had the Challenger job cut data at 7:30. That data came in higher than expected for job cuts. Job cuts came in higher than expected at 286.7% for year over year. For May, they came in at about 80.89 thousand for the Challenger job cuts. In about 25 minutes, we get the ADP non-farm employment change data for May, expected to come in at 170,000. So ADP is what performs payroll services. The non-farm employment change measures the monthly change in non-farm private employment based on payroll data of about 400,000 businesses. It comes in 2 days ahead of government data, but today it's 1 day ahead of government data because the government data is coming out tomorrow with payrolls and unemployment. It's used as a predictor of the government's labor market. So what comes out today for non-farm employment change data will be seen as a predictor to what drops tomorrow for both unemployment and payroll numbers, right? Expected to come in at 170,000. 170,000. Again, higher is higher than expected means economic growth. Lower than expected means economic weakness. And I'm not sure what the market wants right now with inflation problems, with recession fears. I don't know what the market wants here. We also have jobless claims. So jobless claims, just as the name suggests, measures the number of people who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. So this is basically how many people filed for unemployment. Expectations are for 235,000. 235,000. So conventionally, lower jobless claims is better because it means more people are working. But again, with inflation problems, it's never a for sure reaction here. So again, non-farm employment change data drops at 8:15 market time. So that's actually in a little bit less. So non-farm employment change data, we will actually change this here because the non-farm employment change data drops in about 22 and a half minutes. In about 22 and a half minutes for non-farm employment change data. And again, that will influence the market. It's the prelim payroll data. And then later on today at 10, we have the ISM manufacturing PMI numbers coming out. So later on today at 10, we have ISM data coming out. Hey, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, Eurozone CPI came in low, which is good. Yeah, I hate Comcast with a passion, dude. Honestly, it felt so good to cancel. Like, I'm from Louisiana, right? So, like, where we lived, we had Cox Cable. And I knew specifically that Baton Rouge did not have Comcast. And so Comcast will let you cancel their service if you tell them you're moving. If you tell them you're moving, they'll look up whether they have Comcast in your area, in your newly moved to area. And then if they do, they'll continue your contract. But if they don't, they have to cut it. And so whenever it came time where we had fiber optic open up in my area here, where I get 1,000 up and 1,000 down internet for no contract, $90 a month. When that opened up in my area, I had to figure out a way to get out of my Comcast contract. And so what I told them was like, hey, bro, I'm moving to Baton Rouge. They were like, oh, well, let me look up whether we got Comcast in your area. And I knew deep down that they don't because Cox Cable is in Baton Rouge. And so they said, oh, no, it doesn't look like we do it in Baton Rouge. I'm going to go ahead and cancel your account. Hope you'll come back if you ever move back here. I'm like, oh, sure, bro. Got out of my contract like that. You're welcome for anybody who wants to know. Say you're moving to Baton Rouge, you get out of your Comcast contract. Yeah, crypto might react to it. We don't know yet. Bitcoin back all the way down under 27K. Rough couple days for crypto. Went from 28K to 27K. Anybody know why it dropped so much? Anybody know why Bitcoin dropped so much over the last few days? Yeah, again, remember that. Yeah, remember that. You ever want to get out of your Comcast, that's what you tell them. I always laugh at the people that say crypto's a Ponzi scheme. Like, think about it, man. If you don't understand crypto's use case, right? Think about it like this. If you want to send money anywhere in the world, you can with crypto within seconds for much less fees than you use anywhere else, right? Here's a great example. The guy that makes my shorts, like my short term, the editor for my shorts, the short editor I use, lives overseas in Europe. I think he lives in like France or Spain. When I send money there, it has to convert it to euros and do all this different stuff. And when I send it through PayPal, it takes weeks to approve each one, right? I could send him Tether, and that money will get to him within a minute, and without question, without red tape. That is the use case for crypto. That is why it's valuable. Now, people can argue whatever they want, but again, that's the use case. And it makes sense, too. And again, if the government didn't actually believe in the use case of it, they wouldn't be coming out with their own. SEC regulation. Yeah. And it's all love here. We can agree to disagree on crypto, but I think it's valuable. Well, Bitcoin is just an investing asset, just like gold, Yeah, Bitcoin's not supposed to be a currency. Tether is, So yeah, like Bitcoin is just like an investing asset like gold, where there's a finite amount of it. That finite amount causes it to keep up with inflation for the most part over time. Generally, not always, but that's what it's used for, at least. All right, guys. So yeah, we got about 18 minutes or so, 17 minutes until the non-farm prelim data comes out. Again, about 17 minutes before the prelim data comes out. And then we got jobless claims drop at 8:30. Snow. Snow didn't gap up 10 points. Snow is up a little bit, but not a ton. We bought a little bit of CRM, and we're down some, but not much. Again, we're just going to kind of try to sit on that one. Tesla bounced it up a little bit. SPY dipping down, but very nice gap up on the SPY today. We'll see if it keeps holding, but yeah. All right, guys. Non-farm employment change data coming out, the prelim data. And again, non-farm payrolls. This is the prelim data to tomorrow's report, right? So today we get the prelim data. Tomorrow we get the actual data. So today we get the non-farm employment change data. Again, it's used as a predictor for tomorrow's non-farm payroll data. And then tomorrow we get unemployment. The unemployment rate for tomorrow is expected to show at 3.5%. So the unemployment rate is expected to show at 3.5%. That's a 0.1% uptick from what it was last month. So again, unemployment rate set to come out at 3.5% tomorrow. Non-farm payroll is expected at 180,000. That is. Again, non-farm employment data coming out expected to show at 170,000 today. Jobless claims expected at 235. Jobless claims drop at 8:30, so that's in about 45 minutes. Or that's in about 30 minutes. Non-farm employment change data is expected to drop at 8:15. That is in about 15 minutes. Expectations for that are 170K. $1 million worth of real estate, Bitcoin, gold, or any stock. You can only choose one, and which would it be? For how long do I hold it, Jay? Bro, I learned something new about the economy every time I am on one of your live streams. Keep up the good work. Hey, thank you, Dion. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, man, that's what we try to do here. We're really an economic people get kind of hard and they try to make me like a guru day trader, and it's like, man, I'm mostly an economic channel. Like mostly what we're reporting is on economic news. And so, hey, learn about it here, guys. We appreciate it. As long as you want, I'm gonna hold gold then probably. You know, it's either gonna be gold or like Apple stock. You know. And again, people are going to get mad at me for not choosing Bitcoin. Real estate's arguable too, but really, everything you mentioned here, right? So everything Jay Speck mentioned, he said 1 million worth of Bitcoin, gold, or any stock. Everything mentioned here are inflationary hedges, right? Like you have to understand why you use these things. You know, so like if you sit on cash and you sit on cash long term, you're losing money by the boatload every 10 years. You're losing so much money. Right? Why are you using money? Because of inflation. Inflation's going up. Things get more expensive over time. If you don't believe me, a house, the average house in the 90s was like $100,000 or so, 110,000 or something like that in the 90s. In the 60s, it was like way less than that. And so over time, you lose money to inflation if you sit on cash, right? And so all these investment vehicles, whether they're the S&P 500, whether they're blue chip stocks, whether Bitcoin, gold, silver, real estate, the sole purpose of these assets is to keep up with inflation. That's what they do. They keep up with inflation. Gold has over 4x'd in the last 20-something years. Over 4x'd. Right, for gold. The S&P 500 has given you similar returns. Real estate has given you similar returns. Bitcoin has done way more than that over the last 20 years, but that's a different story completely. But the whole point is to keep up with inflation. If you sit on cash, you're losing value, right? And so in that regard, you should at least 3 to 4x your money every 10 years. And so again, if you buy the S&P has historically given you gains like that as well. But again, you got to understand the real use of all of these things, which are to keep up with inflation. Same thing with real estate. Whether you get a mortgage or pay cash, your real estate is going to keep up with inflation in a lot of different ways. If you think about it like this, okay, if you get a mortgage, right, say you're paying $1,000 a month. You know, in 10 years, that $1,000 a month is going to be much less significant. It's going to be much less hard on you. Over a 10-year period. Why? Because prices have gone up so much. And so you should be getting paid more at your jobs. And that $1,000 mortgage payment every month is going to be less significant overall to your overall life in general, right? That is how mortgages are hedges against inflation as well. Real estate, gold, silver, S&P 500, Apple. They're all used as hedges against inflation. And so the reason I chose gold is because gold has the most long-term statistical edge over anything else. Long-term, right? But it varies. Yeah, real estate's arguable for sure. You forget there are kids in braces that are also being called gurus. Yeah. Bro, they got one kid with a perm out here, 15-year-old selling courses, talking about how he's a stock market expert. Honestly, if you buy that, you deserve it. You know, if you believe that, you know, you're their prime target. If you believe that guy, you know, just marketing. Don't be gullible, everybody at home. Don't be gullible. Hi, I wanted to ask your opinion. Is the market considered way overextended, or are we starting a new bull trend? I have no idea what the market's doing right now. What I will say is that it depends on how you look at it. Depends on how long your time frame is. You know, the biggest edge in the S&P 500 of the market in general is that long term it's going to go up. On average, it gives you about 6 to 12% a year. But what we're at shorter term, I'm not sure. You know, I think there's arguments for each. I think over the last 180 days, you know, the market in general is up. If you look at a weekly chart, though, the market has been down basically since 2022, 2021. And so in terms of extension, it depends on the time frame you're looking at. It depends on the amount of time you're willing to hold as well. So like long term, the market's going to break highs and go up. Short term, it's a little bit more arguable, and I don't know what we're going to do here. I try to react to what the market does instead of predict it necessarily. You know, so I don't know. Yeah, the 2% a day lady was just ridiculous. She was like, yeah, guys, listen, if you just make 2% daily, you know, you'll make all this money. It's like, oh yeah, you know, if I buy a time machine and go back in time and buy Amazon 20 years ago, you know, I'm gonna be rich. What a ridiculous expectation. 2% daily. It's so silly. It's so ridiculous. Anybody that believes that, man, again, the problem is that she's telling it to young investors that don't know any better, right? So they might hear, oh, all I got to do is make 2% a day. I think they did the math. If you make 2% a day within 5 years, you'd be the richest person in the world. So yeah, good luck, guys, hitting that. All right, guys. Hey, we got 8 minutes. 8 minutes here before the non-farm employment change data comes out. 8 minutes. All right, guys, we got this data coming out. We'll see how well it affects the market or how much it negatively impacts it here. I forgot to do a poll, man. I'm slacking today. Hold on, let me do a Twitter poll. We'll skip the poll today. All right, guys. Hey, we don't have much time left until the data comes out. What about JP Morgan? I'm in JP Morgan. I'll see how banks. I just think JP Morgan's probably the safest bank we got. I'm down a little bit on the trade overall, but yeah. 2% every week. Whew, even 2% a week's pretty tough. Is AI starting to run? Well, it's bouncing back a little bit. It's gapping down still, but it's bouncing back from the earnings drop it put in. All right, guys. Hey, less than 5 minutes, or a little bit over 5 minutes, actually, but still 6 minutes. I don't know why CrowdStrike dropped. I really don't know there. Yeah. Hey, good luck, guys. Again, we got about 5 minutes left. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. I'm also going to throw it in sub-only mode here just to catch back up on subs. So if you haven't already, everybody announce you're subscribed if you haven't yet, guys. We appreciate it. I definitely appreciate the love and support. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, TJ, Mike, Chris, Sick, Tessie, Shepard, Eric, Chris, Gary, Adam. Hey, appreciate the love, guys. All right, hey, we got 4 minutes. 4 minutes, a little bit over 4 minutes, but still. What's up, Max? Hey, what's up, John, DC, Tobias, Bill? Yeah, again, we'll see what happens here. We're watching AI. We'll see what this does. I don't trade every day, but I appreciate your coverage. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, if you can do that, bro. D-Trader, good luck, man. I hope you make money, brother. Again, I'm not saying you don't. I'm sure there's going to be outliers who can do it. I think it's incredibly difficult, and it's hard to tell what's real on the internet. But if you're actually doing that, good luck, brother. I hope you make money, dude. All right, guys, we got 3.5 minutes left. 3.5 minutes before the non-farm employment change data comes out. And then we got jobless claims at 8:30 here. So jobless claims at 8:30. Just want to say, you make my time trading a lot more bearable with your stream running in the background. It's like I have a friend trading with me. Hey, thank you, 10. I appreciate it. I try over here. Again, we got 3 minutes, team. 3 minutes. Again, when Dollar General fails, I'm expecting apologies from all of you guys. But no, the SPY is at 418, dipping a little heavy ahead of this non-farm prelim data. Again, 2.5 minutes here, guys. 2.5 minutes. Tesla on the left, on the middle side. I'm gonna put the dollar index up as well. I'm curious to see how this gets influenced by the prelim data. The Dixie is running up a little bit, which is usually the opposite of what the market's actually doing here. Hey, thank you, Raphael. Again, make sure everybody you hit the live button next to the play button. So hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're caught up on stream. So again, right next to the play button, you should have a live button that looks like this. If it's red, it means you're live. If it's gray, it means you're delayed. So hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're fully caught up. We got 2.5 minutes left. 2.5 minutes. Yeah, you got to use compounding. So basically every week, if you're making 2%, you got to add 2% to your portfolio amount. And so if you have $1,000 to start the week, at the end of the first week, you should have 1,000. What is that? I'll use $100. That'll make the math a lot easier. If you got $100 to start the week, at the end of the week, you should have 102. At the end of the next week, you should have 104. At the end of the next week, you should have 106. At the end of the next week, you should have 108. So if you're making 2% a week every month, you should be compounding about 8% gains a month, which add about 100, a little bit less, add about 100% to your account yearly from those extra weekly returns, if that makes sense, right? So compounding is what you want to do. But the dollar index is moving up. Again, we got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left, 1 minute and 20 seconds. I don't think you need to be flat, Fonz, but I would reach out to them to be sure. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure they got rid of the flat, needing to be flat for economic releases. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. All right, guys, less than a minute. Does non-farm have weightage? It has some. Tomorrow's will be much more important. John, that wasn't the correct math either. Well, it's not perfect, but I'm just trying to explain what compounding, how you use compounding. You know, if you're making 2% a week, then at the end of the first week, if you got $100, you'll be up 102. At the end of the next week, you'd be at 104. At the end of the next week, you know, and then there's 4.3 weeks in a month, and so you'd want to do it by that as well. But you know, again, we're not going to need to be super exact. Anyways, here's the data release right now, guys. Let's see what we get. All right, and here is the release. All right, so ADP non-farm employment change came in at 278,000, way higher than expected at 278K. Way higher than expected. 278K for ADP non-farm employment change, way higher than expected. Again, we covered these numbers fast within 2 seconds. 278,000 versus 170,000 expected. Way higher numbers than expected here. Again, 278K versus 178K expected. Uh, 278K versus 170K expected. Way higher numbers here, which is crazy. We'll put this data up on screen, but man, what a big miss, or a big beat, I guess. I don't know what it would be considered. Inflation is bad for inflation. It's good for economic growth. The dollar index is loving it. It's up to 104s. Oh yeah, you're right, Chris. But again, it's doing that math off the top of my head is going to take way too long. So I'd rather just calculate it that way. Yeah, so way higher than expected numbers here. CRM moving up, is it? Don't lie to me, bro. Don't lie to me. It's moving up a little bit. That's all right. Market's moving down, though. So, again, the market doesn't like this. My guess is for inflation fears. Like, the market's fearing inflation right now. And so they're worried about this. So, again, 278,000 versus expected 170K. Previous was 296. So, a little bit lower than last time, but much higher than expected here. Yeah, the question now is, does the Fed raise rates at this point in time? Does the Fed raise rates right now? And again, and remember, guys, in 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes now, we get jobless claims numbers. So we get jobless claims numbers at 8:30. All right, so again, market's not loving this. Down to 418 here, down to 418. Again, market's down a lot here, guys. Again, jobless claims numbers at 8:30 here now, 8:30. Yeah, I feel you, Sam. Again, what Chris said was right, where you're taking 2%. First week, you're taking 100. You make 2%, it's 102. The next week, you would take 2% of 102, which is going to be much harder to calculate off the top of my head. You know, so again, I just did it simplified. But the point is, compounding is significant, I guess is the point. But yeah, jobless claims. Expectation numbers for jobless claims are the expected numbers for jobless claims are 235,000. And again, hit the subscribe button, guys. We covered this data very quickly. If you guys saw how quickly we covered that, it was very fast. Fed watch tool just changed to 70% chance of no rate hike. Honestly, why would it go up there? The question I have, like, for the Fed here is, why would it go up in that situation? You know what I mean? Like, okay, so if payroll numbers are expected to come in hot, That means economic growth. And the market doesn't like it right now. The market's dipping down because it means economic growth, right? And so, in that regard, why would the Fed watch tool show a higher probability of no rate hike now? Wouldn't more economic growth than expected signal more of a need for a rate hike here, especially if the market's reacting negatively to this? We still got some time here. Again, we still got some time, but right now about 70% of people are expecting a pause. And maybe the market will get baked into it. Well, yeah, it's impossible, Eric, but that's kind of the point, I guess. Yeah, this is going back and forth. And again, it goes by what Jerome Powell, Big Papa, said the last time he spoke during the interview a couple weeks ago, which he said at this point, we generally don't know if we're going to pause or raise rates. They also said, Pawn sent me a news article yesterday or today that said one of the Fed members said that it's not even going to be called a pause. It would more so be called a skip, right? So like they're not going to pause indefinitely. They're going to skip one and then go back to raising rates on the other if they did pause to begin with, which is a big question. We don't know. Again, most people are expecting a pause now, but yeah, we'll see what happens here. All right, guys, we got less than 10 minutes here, guys, before the jobless claims numbers. Less than 10 minutes. Yeah, so jobless claims drop at 8:30. So stick around. Jobless claims drop in about 9 minutes. Right, because they were so far off from the 2% target. Yeah. What's with the dollar index and the market moving together? They're not. Here's the dollar index on the right. Here's the market on the left. Generally, they move inversely with each other. So like usually they move the opposite of what they do. If the dollar index goes up, the market goes down because of inflation fears and woes and stuff, and vice versa. If the SPY's going up, the dollar index is generally dropping. And they're moving inversely to each other. You can see the dollar index on the right side going up, the market on the left side going down. But yeah. And again, if you want to day trade some of these economic releases, check out Top Step. Top Step is the cheapest way to get your foot in the door. The big problem most day traders face is that they simply don't have the equity to day trade and get around the PDT rule. And the PDT rule is one of the most ridiculous rules. If you want to day trade stocks, you have to have at least $25,000. You really need about $30K to be able to day trade actively with a margin account. It's called the PDT restriction. The good thing about futures, and the reason most traders, pro traders especially, day trade futures is because there's no red tape. There's no PDT rule. You can day trade short, buy market, buy bid, sell the ask, just like stocks, but there's no PDT restriction. And so like if you look at this here, I can buy market, buy bid, sell the ask. You'll see this is the same price action as the SPY here. Like you'll see this is the same as this right here, but I can day trade futures with no PDT rule. And so the barrier of entry is much lower. Top Step is the most legit funded program in the world for futures, where they give you a demo and they test your skill. And if you can hit the target on their demo, the base one, they give you 50K demo. If you can hit 3K on that demo and profit without losing over 2K total and pass their phases, they fund you legitimately 50 grand with a 90% split. And so if you get funded and you make 20K, you keep 18K of that, and they only keep 2. And so you get a lot of the rewards of day trading a large account, like if you 90% split. But your risk is much less. If you lose, which is going to be most day traders lose, you're losing much less than you would if you put the money up yourself. And so it really is the best of both worlds. It genuinely builds your skill. Taking these challenges really builds your skill. And I think you got to have reasonable expectations for it, but it truly does build your skill, in my opinion. It teaches you how to trade. The risk is less. The reward is similar if you put up the money yourself. And so it's kind of the best of both worlds. If you want to check it out, here is the link. And again, they are a sponsor of mine. They pay me money, and so I'm certainly biased in their favor as a sponsor. But if you want to check them out, there's the link. The question should be, why wouldn't the Feds raise rates? Well, I'm sure they're getting pressure from banking, the banking sector. And I'm curious to see how this is all going to affect banks and all that stuff too. All right, guys, we got less than 7 minutes here. Less than 7 minutes here, guys. Again, Tesla's starting to creep up. The dollar index is moving up. How did all my trades react to this? So gold is down a little bit. Walmart's down. Walgreens hasn't really moved much. PayPal up today again. Coca-Cola green on that one today now too. JP Morgan, we're up a little bit on that one today. Gold is down. Disney, we're up a lot. Salesforce, we're down a little bit. I guess the real question now is, does the Fed raise rates now at this point in time? Does the Fed raise rates? We got about 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. And again, hit the live button next to the play button. Jobless claims drop at in about 5 minutes here. Yeah, unemployment tomorrow is going to be big. And again, so this job, these payroll numbers are just the prelim data, right? So they're preliming what comes out tomorrow, which is called the ADP Nonfarm payroll data, right? So payrolls drop tomorrow. Those are the real numbers, right? These were just prelim numbers for employment. What dropped tomorrow are the real numbers. And then that is going to influence markets. And again, I think a lot of people are now front loading into what that expected number release might be. Again, tomorrow, to put this into perspective, tomorrow they are expecting 180,000 for non-farm payrolls. I wonder if this is going to go up and people are going to bet that this is going to be higher than expected. So again, to put it into perspective, the prelim non-farm employment change data was 170K expected. It ended up showing up at 260 or 270. Tomorrow they're expecting 180K now. And I think with these prelim numbers, it makes sense to maybe expect a higher release there for non-farm payrolls. And then unemployment expected to drop at 3.5% tomorrow. So that's kind of what we got going on, 3.5%. I know, but Jamie, man, what is your argument for a recession? Do you know what a recession is technically defined as, brother? Jamie. Genuine question. All right, guys. Again, SPY moving up a little bit. Got about 800 people here. We got less than 4 minutes before these numbers drop, guys. So stick around. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. Right. Negative GDP over 2 quarters. And we haven't had that at all lately. You know, we've had GDP growth every quarter for the most part, I think. Right. Let me look at what the last GDP numbers were. Yeah. Last GDP, we increased at 1.3%. It's expected to be 1.5% by the end of this quarter. So definitely not going down. All right, market's bouncing up a little bit again, guys. 3 minutes here, 3 minutes. I mean, that's fine, Jamie. I mean, I understand you saying that, but again, I think we got to go by the technical definition. Well, now the official definition is 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters mixed with high unemployment, which we don't have either. Yeah, so today we have the Purchasing Managers Index coming out at 10 o'clock as well. So just a lot of big releases today, too. What are the main events that have a drastic impact on the markets today or overall? The biggest influential reports and releases are going to be CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index. It's the most heavily watched inflationary metric. That's probably the biggest one. The next one is the rate hike decision. So the Fed rate hike decision and press conference. The press conference weighs a little bit more than the actual rate hike because, you know, people generally get the rate hike expectations right. And so it depends on what Big Papa Jerome Powell, chairman, says during the rate hike press conference. Those are the 2 most heavily weighted things in markets. And then following that is probably like PPI, GDP, like quarterly GDP, unemployment reports, earnings, Apple, Tesla earnings, Nvidia earnings, stuff like that. Those are usually the big heavily weighted. Like for Jerome Powell interviews, the last one we had over 8,000 people watching the stream. And so to put it in perspective, right now we got a little bit under 1,000 people. But the last Jerome Powell press conference, we had over 8,000 people. CPI, we generally have over 4,000 people every time monthly. Rate hike decisions, it's about that. It's 3,000 to 4,000 on average usually. All right, guys, we got 1 minute left. Again, make sure you hit the like. Yeah, PCE is important, but it's not as much. It's not as heavily watched as CPI. All right, guys, less than a minute before jobless claims. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on what the numbers come out at. Again, jobless claims are expected today, guys. Jobless claims are expected today at 235,000. Again, higher jobless claims, the more people filing for unemployment benefits, right? That's what jobless claims are. So the higher jobless claims, the more people filing for unemployment insurance. And so higher means more unemployment, more claims of being jobless. All right. Lower means less unemployment. And so that's the way to look at this. Again, jobless claims 235, expectations 15 seconds. Again, hit the play button hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're caught up on stream. Here we go. Market's moving up ahead of this. And here's the release right here. Non-farm productivity came in at minus 2.1%. Waiting for jobless claims to show up. Market's up a lot from this. Looks like they're a little late on jobless claims. Jobless claims just came in at 232,000, so a little bit light. 232,000 versus 235,000 expected, so a little bit under for jobless claims numbers. So again, more employment, lower unemployment essentially here at 232 versus 235 expected. 232 versus 235 expected for jobless claims. And so again, jobless claims came in at 232 versus 235 expected. A little bit more employment, lower unemployment. Continuing claims came in at 1.795 versus 1.7 or 1.8 expected. So lower all the way around for jobless claims numbers here. All right, so we'll put both of these numbers up on screen. And again, hit the subscribe button. We cover all the major economic stuff every week. Market's liking this so far here, guys. It's up to 418s right now, rebounding a little bit. So it looks like the market might be fearing more so a recession now versus an inflation. The market is now moving up a little bit here, guys. Wow. Yeah, so now PMI comes out today too. So we have the Purchasing Managers Index. But so far the market liked this. The dollar index is breaking down some here now. So again, the SPY like this. So far, it's moving up. Tesla up over VWAP as well, over the 200 EMA. Dollar index is falling back down now. So again, you can kind of see that inverse relationship here with the Dixie and the market itself. Hey, all good, Jay. No worries, man. Again, market like this data. It's over the VWAP. It's right at the 200 EMA volume weighted average price now. All right, team. Again, SPY rejecting now a little bit, but we've had some upward pushes over the last 5 minutes from jobless claims for sure. Everything else is up. JP Morgan doing a little bit better today. Moving up a little bit. The dollar index is still looking pretty weak. Yeah, so again, the Fed is now calling it a skip as opposed to an actual rate hike. So it varies, you know. All right, so remember, we still have manufacturing numbers. So we do have ISM manufacturing numbers, 10 a.m. So yeah, we have so again now the next release. So that was jobless claims, non-farm data. Again, the market has been a little bit indecisive over this stuff. because mostly the market has been kind of contracting up and down over and over again. Jobless claims came in light, which means that more people are working, lower unemployment filings. And then employment change data came in much higher than expected, which signals economic growth. And so basically, the reports today signaled economic growth and low unemployment, lower than expected unemployment. Is a point to clarify. So again, later we have ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. So we do have manufacturing PMI now at 10 a.m. Yeah, we do have manufacturing PMI numbers now. All right. All right, again, tomorrow we have unemployment. SPY rejecting there at the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. And again, if you're not watching the 200 EMA and the VWAP, you should be. It's an important level to pay attention to. So we're watching this number here. All right. Again, we got jobless claims already out. Jobs data. Tesla's still ripping up pretty big. The dollar index is starting to bounce back some here as well. And again, if you haven't all... yeah, so the House approved the debt ceiling increase. It goes to the Senate sometime before the weekend. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Again, Top Step is a funded program for futures where they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit the targets on the demo while following their rules, they fund you between $50,000 up to $150K with a 90% split. And this is really beneficial for traders. If you're stuck and you're struggling as a trader, this type of stuff builds your skill. It teaches you how to trade under pressure with much less risk than you would if you put the money up yourself. Most people are going to fail this because most day traders lose, but it's much cheaper to take this and fail it than to put the money up yourself and lose that. But if you pass it, a lot of the rewards are the same. So what they do is they give you a demo on Top Step. You're day trading futures, so you're day trading the S&P 500 and what's called the E-mini. You can day trade the NASDAQ and what's called the NQ. You can day trade currencies. You can day trade gold and silver. No PDT restrictions. And again, they're going to give you a demo and test your skill. Base one's 50K. If you can hit 3K on that demo without losing over 2K total and following the rest of their rules, then they fund you 50 grand with a 90% split. And they pay out millions, fund thousands of dollars they fund thousands of traders a year, pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year. And they're the most legit one in the world. They've been around for over 10 years. You can check them out right here. Great way to help support your boy here on this channel. I don't know if we're going to the moon today. Again, it depends. It went up. Market's moody right now. It's gone up big and then down big. And so it's just kind of sitting tight right now, chopping back and forth. It's dropped a lot over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes or so. But prior to that, it bounced up some. So we're kind of going choppy back and forth sideways. Dollar index is now moving down. So we'll see if the market ends up popping up from it. What do you guys think we'll do today? I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. We asked, does the market bounce on today's economic data? I get about 900 votes. 60% said yes, 30% or 40% said no. We'll do another question here. Does the Fed raise rates? Yes or no? Does the Fed raise rates next month? We're going to do a poll on Twitter here. And we're going to make the poll 3 days. Does the Fed raise rates next month? Vote on that poll. Let me know what you guys think. Again, dollar index breaking down some. We'll see if the SPY ends up continuing to fall. SPY is dipping down. We got the previous closing price, which is a pretty relevant level. Here's the previous closing price at 417.80s. Pretty relevant level here because this is the level in which it goes from like red to green, green to red on the day. So we'll see if that level holds. So far, we got 60% voting yes, 40% voting no, out of about 100 votes so far. $25 basis points. Well, yeah, I mean, they are saying a skip. So the Fed came out basically saying they would probably skip. They weren't going to call it a pause because they didn't think pause insinuates that it's gonna be longer term than just one cycle of Fed meetings. So again, a lot of people are calling it a skip, which means that like they're gonna skip next rate hike. They're not going to raise rates the next meeting, but then the next 6-week period after that, they're going to go back to raising rates, is what they're saying. But who knows? It's an interesting conversation for sure. All right, the Dixie popping up a little bit. The SPY up there too. Remember, we do have PMI data coming out today too. All right, guys. Ooh, Tesla pulling back to that 200 EMA volume weighted average price level. We'll see if it actually holds there or not, but Tesla's starting to dip down there. Skip sends a signal to the market that raising rate cycle is near end, probably has the same effect of a pause. The only thing I do know is that I'll be on this channel watching that info release. Thanks for the stream. Shared your channel plenty of times. Thank you, Tobias. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Well, yeah, it's the same thing as a pause, but it insinuates a different, longer-term outlook. Debt bill already passed. Well, about passed the House of Reps. It didn't pass the Senate yet, but the Senate will most likely pass it. But the House of Reps, the House approved it, but the Senate hasn't yet. But it'll pass the Senate most likely. All right, so market's starting to crack under the previous closing price here, guys. So the market's starting to fall. All right, we asked people on Twitter. We got some votes already. All right, so we already got some votes here. 60% of people think yes, we raise rates. 40% of people think we don't. A little bit more than that now, too. What about GameStop, man? What's GameStop been doing? All right, guys, dollar index is at 105s here, guys, 105. So the dollar index is starting to fall back down. The SPY has recently broke. Again, look at the previous closing price level we talked about. We talked about this light blue line as the previous closing price. We got a really nice bounce off of that level on both Tesla and the SPY here. All right, again, Tesla bouncing up a little bit, but the SPY just pulled right back down to that previous closing price. Very sideways range on everything, including the dollar index right now here too. So, yeah. Honestly, guys, and y'all check out Chart Prime too. This is another one of my sponsors, but honestly, dude, they did this new update, and this new update is very, very cool. Honestly, I can't even lie. Like, I've been using this update some because it's just really cool. So it's called Chart Prime. So they give you custom trading view signals and alerts. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. I can't guarantee they're going to be right. I can't guarantee anything, but like their strong signals are powerful. Like if you ignore everything else here and you just look at their strong signals here, like look at this. Let me get my drawer up. Hold on. You ignore all their other signals, which I think the other signals can work really well too. But if you ignore them and you just look at their strong signals. Look at these 2 strong signals within 10 minutes, huge drops down. And this is the SPY. And you can use these in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. Again, strong signal here, you get a drop. But like keep going back here. Whether one's right or wrong individually doesn't really matter. But like look at this. Strong buy signal here, huge bounce up. Sell signal here, nice little drops. Reversal down signal here, you get it. Strong buy signal here, huge bounce up. This one might have been wrong. But I think the amount there, right? Sell signal here, drops. Strong signal here, bounce. Strong signal here, bounce. Strong signal here, big bounce. And so I think like they've got to be at least 70% accuracy. And this is $35 a month. Strong signal here, drop. And again, you can use them in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. I've been using them a lot. And then aside from the new Pro one, the reversal signals have always been pretty on point here. Like look at these. Reversal down, drop. Reversal up, literally called the very bottom. Reversal up, literally called the bottom. Reversal up, called the bottom. Bearish engulfing candle, literally at the very top. And this is just a small piece of what they offer. And again, it's $35 a month, so it's super cheap. You know, so I think the deal there is like using that to help your trades. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. But I think that can be useful. And I think that makes a lot of sense if you can use it right. Look at the how many. And if you want to check out Chart Prime, again, they are a sponsor of mine. You get 40% off if you use my link right now. For which one? Grape? Red days are ahead. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. What's your thoughts on GameStop earnings for Q1? Tears of the Kingdom was a huge seller. Is that a game? I've never. What is Tears? Oh, is that Zelda? Yeah. The question is how many people bought it from GameStop, though. You know, is the real question, I think. And I don't know. Yeah, Zelda. I used to love Zelda, bro. I had two ferrets, and their names were Ganon, Link, and Zelda. Zelda was the baby girl. Ganon, honestly, I've talked about the law of attraction before, and again, I'm not saying I believe in it because I'm usually pretty skeptical of stuff like that. But I'll say this: one thing I notice about names is that sometimes people live up to their names, and I don't know if it's like psychological or not, but like I've known some hunters that were like kind of big, kind of burly, kind of actual hunters. You know what I mean? I've known some I've known some people that have last names that fit in with their personality or first names, and we named our we had three ferrets. We called them Zelda, Ganon, and Link. Right? Ganon and Link used to fight with each other all the time over food. Ganon would be mean to Zelda and like steal all her food, and Ganon gained all this weight and stole from Zelda's food. And so they kind of lived up to the name of Ganon, Link, and Zelda here. They acted exactly like each. The only thing you needed was Link defending Zelda, the baby. But yeah, I love Zelda. I grew up with like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and all that stuff. Ocarina of Time was like my favorite video game growing up. So I'm a big Zelda fan. I haven't played any. I don't have time to play them. My son's not really into them. My son's more like a Mario Sonic guy. But yeah. Yeah, I've talked about the story before. There's a few weird stories. And again, I'm not saying I believe in it. I think you pay more attention to certain things that you believe, and so you just pay more attention to it, and so it makes the law of attraction seem more real. But I've had some funny instances. One of them was my daughter was trying to we were trying to get my daughter's phone working. And every time it would give us this one glitch, it would say, "You hit a snag, you hit a snag." And we kept doing it over and over again. And every time we do it, my daughter would be like, "Hey, it's not going to work. It's not going to work." And then sure enough, it would say, "You hit a snag, you hit a snag." She keeps saying, "It's not going to work. It's not going to work." So it keeps saying, "Hey, you hit a snag, you hit a snag." Eventually, I was like, "Hey, no, we're going to be positive about this." I was like, "It's going to work this next time. And we're not going to hit a snag. And it's going to go through and everything's going to work." And the very next time we tried it, it freaking worked. It went through. And so it was weird. My daughter was like, "What?" You know. But yeah, could be coincidence. Could be luck. Yeah, for sure. Hey, thank you, SD1. I appreciate it, man. I'm not saying anything's fake. I'm a natural skeptic. The personality type I have is the debater personality type, according to the Myers-Briggs personality test, which again is arguably not even useful in general. Not accurate. They say there's a new one that's come out that measures your personality a little bit more accurately, they say. But again, I got the debater personality type. And if you look that up, I usually play devil's advocate. I will go against people's opinions just to kind of test them sometimes. And I think that's probably accurate. But yeah. Yeah, did you guys buy from GameStop? I don't know. I haven't bought the new one. I like the old ones. The old ones are fun. Yeah, exactly. I think Joe Rogan said it best where he said the law of attraction works, but not in the way you think. The law of attraction works is because if you're constantly thinking and saying things, it means you're motivated to do them. And so if you're telling yourself you're going to succeed, if you're telling yourself you're going to do well, your mind remembers that and motivates it and increases the motivation to accomplish those specific things. And so it might seem like it's some big power or whatever it is, but really it's just motivation and dopamine. McCarthy speaking today. I think they got the deal done. So again, we reported this morning. House reps passed a bill yesterday night, to suspend the nation's debt limit through January 1st of 2025. The final vote tally was 314-17. But again, now it has to pass the Senate. Yeah, exactly, Jeffrey. That's exactly right. And the placebo effect can be powerful too, man. All right, guys, we got about 30 minutes until the market opens up, a little bit over that. But yeah, the placebo effect will be powerful too. I talk about Lululemon sometimes. And the reason I talk about Lululemon is because, I live with two ladies. Like, I have a daughter and a wife, right? My son's old. My son's 9, so he's on my team, I'm sure. But they'll come to me and they'll be like, "Oh, baby, look, Lululemon is so comfortable, because it's like $90 for a pair of sweatpants. You buy a little flimsy hat over at Lululemon, they're charging you $100, And the way they accomplish that, I think, is from the placebo effect, because my family will come to me and they'll be like, "Oh, John, oh, baby, look at this. Wear these shorts. They're so comfortable. They're so comfortable." And I'll try the shorts on and I'll be like, they're all right. They feel like any normal pair of shorts to me. I don't see why everybody's talking about they're so comfortable, but I think people tell each other they're so comfortable. So then you think about that comfort more, and it's kind of like a placebo effect. Because they're more expensive, you want to believe they're more comfortable, so you do, right? And I think that is a really powerful thing, believe it or not, And I think that is why Lululemon is still around. Everybody talks about how comfortable they are. I don't really notice any measurable difference in my head from comfort from Lululemon or anything else. Again, I think people are just paying more for it. And again, it's kind of like if you buy a course, if you buy a stock trading course for $10,000, it doesn't matter what's in that course. That course could say 3 words: buy the dip. But you're going to be talking about, "Hey man, this is the greatest course ever. It telling me to buy the dip was so profound, so much worth it." Why? It's because you want it to be worth it. Confirmation bias. You want it to be worth it. You want to justify that expense. And so I think that type of kind of placebo / confirmation bias is incredibly powerful to people. The data both signaled economic growth, Carlos. So non-farm payroll or non-farm employment change data signaled economic growth and more jobs. Jobless claims numbers came in lower than expected, signaling more economic growth, lower unemployment. Yeah, for sure, Nando's. I can agree with that, brother. Again, we got about 3 minutes before the 9 a.m. bell rings, or not 9 a.m. bell rings, before 9 a.m. And I think some traders get opened up to the market at 9 a.m. We are bouncing back a little bit, but the market's been pretty flat for the last 30 minutes or so. Last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 minutes. The market has been completely flat. If you look at this little range right here, we just haven't moved at all. That's why I'm over here telling stories about Lululemon. Here's the flat nature of the market the last 20 minutes or so. Prior to that, we're still pretty flat despite all this stuff anyway. So if we look back, prior to this, we're flat as well, but in a much larger range. And so basically, this is the market the last, hour or so, 30 minutes to an hour. The dollar index, you can see here, is breaking down. So the Dixie's breaking down. Tesla's moving up a little bit. So Tesla's trying up there. We'll see if it holds, but that's kind of the market right now. What do you guys think is going to happen today? Let me look at the poll. We asked people whether they think we're going to raise rates or not. And the poll shows 64% of people think yes, the Fed does raise rates. 36% of people think no, the market doesn't raise rates. Very choppy market. Volume dried up a lot. You can kind of see the volume differences here. Here's look at the volume when let me see, where's 8:30? So here's 8:30 right here when the numbers came out. You can kind of see the volume differences. Last, 10 minutes, the market volume has just dried up a lot. Let me see if y'all can see this on screen. Yeah, y'all can see it. Yeah, the past couple minutes, the market volume has just dried up a lot. Anyone know the reason why some traders can't trade pre-market? I think it's all preference. We're all different. Everybody's different. We have different personality types, different patience levels, different biases and all that stuff. And I think everybody's just a little bit different. I used to hate trading pre-market. Over time, I've learned to trade it. Pre-market is definitely more range-based trading than like momentum. And so it depends on what your preference is. If you like range trading, pre-market might be good. If you like support and resistance trading, pre-market can be good, because again, the stock has less liquidity, so it's more likely to stay in a range and follow like upper and lower support and resistance, in my opinion. And after the opening bell, it's more like momentum trend trading. But pre-market is trend trading, range trading as well. It just depends on your style of trading, I guess. Also, some brokers don't allow it. I'm seeing a couple people mention in the chat. Yeah, that's definitely true. Hey, thank you, V. I appreciate it, man. Again, Tesla at 202s right now. Yeah. I mean, they buy it. That's all right. If I was struggling financially, I'd probably be a little bit more against it than I am now. But like, we're doing okay. So like, they can spend $100 on a pair of sweatpants if they want to. I mean, I'm not going to choose to, but they can if they want. I'm better at trading futures at night than the morning. It's rough trading in pre-market. Yeah, I mean, there's just lower liquidity, lower volume. I'm not sure. OD, I don't know, man. Do a poll. Does Nvidia close over 400? We already got a poll going on, and I'd rather let the poll that we have going on about the rate hike stay. I can ask the chat, does Nvidia close over 400 this week? Which we only have today and another day tomorrow for Nvidia. Nvidia currently is at 378. So 378s for Nvidia. Or no, I'm sorry, 380s. 382.20s right now for Nvidia. Does it close over 400? Does it pop back up another $18 and close over 400 this week? Let me know. I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? Yeah. I'll ask the chat. Let the chat answer that one. We're going to get ready to trade some futures too. Doubtful, doubt it, definitely not. No, I don't think so. Nah, not happening. Yeah, a lot of people say no. I think it depends. Like the probabilities there is like, does it get another big volume run? If volume stays this low, it's not going to happen. But if volume gets increased, it starts like a squeeze and a push. Of course, then it could. But that's the real question there. And I think I'm skeptical, but I think it could happen. So we'll see. All right, so we've been in a longer term downtrend of the E-mini here. You can kind of see it. So that's the trend right now I think we have on the S&P 500. So it is a longer term downtrend. I don't know if we're going to hold on this downtrend, but that's kind of what I see right now. Again, in less than an hour, guys, I'll put the timer up. But 9 a.m. We got these numbers dropping for PMI data at 10 a.m. market time. Yeah, most people who say they can't trade in pre-market, like again, to trade in pre-market, you got to switch your order type from day order to EXT order is what you have to do, right? You have to switch it to EXT. You also have to change it to limit orders. And so if you use a limit order and an EXT order, you can buy it in pre-market. I mean, there's still some restrictions, like TOS doesn't let you trade. TOS doesn't let you trade before 7 a.m. market time. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it definitely has the following and the interest right now to break 400. It's really just nobody knows if it will. Um, you know, but it's definitely got a pretty big following that it can. It's just will it? I don't know. Hmm. All right, so we're still staying within this trend. The dollar index is still falling down a little bit. Tesla pulling back to that 200 EMA volume weighted average price level. The SPY is bouncing right at that previous closing price, so the red to green level on the SPY. We do have manufacturing PMI, and the way PMI numbers work is it's the purchasing managers index. It's whether manufacturing is expanding versus contracting. And so above 50 indicates, let me see, expanding manufacturing. Below 50 indicates contracting manufacturing sector. They're expecting 47 manufacturing PMI for May. So again, we'll see what happens there too. Market's bouncing up a little bit, bouncing right at that previous closing price. So again, very choppy market right now. We're going up and down, not really doing too much aside from that. And again, I'm trying to just be patient. I'm not going to push too heavy. I got to just wait for opportunity to arise here. Yeah, for sure, Proton. It depends on which one. Yeah, it's June. Time's going by quick. So, will JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon run for president? I don't know if that's necessarily a good move, huh? All right, so the U.S. national debt per citizen 10 years ago was about $52,000. This year, it'll be close to $95,000. Yeah, but I think with inflation, I mean that's a big increase. But when you consider like gold has 4.5x over the last 20 years, the S&P 500 has given you about the same. That's right on par with the inflationary gains that we've made. So if gold is 4xing every 20 years,
the U.S. national debt doubling every 10 years is on par with that trend, if that makes sense, right? So all right, so again, SPY in this trend here, you can see the trend. We'll see if it continues to hold. And we'll open up maybe a longer-term chart if we find something better here, but... All right, starting to head up a little bit. Again, the SPY at 418s here, dollar index at 104s. Still just patiently waiting here. We got about 20 minutes until the market opens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can trade funds. Oil is falling down right now. Is it really? What is the oil? CL? Yeah, dipping down under VWAP, under 68. All right. Are they really? Let me see. Where? Yeah, it's been a while since I skated. Sorry, DS. I thought you were meaning There we go. All right, so again, still in this trend range. We'll see if we reject at the top of this trend here at around 14194. CoffeeZilla talking about he begins tomorrow or today 3-part docuseries on a $500 million scam. Any of his members know what it was about? I always watch CoffeeZilla. He's solid, man. I can respect him for not taking any crap from people. John, I can't see the Dixie chart. Sorry, bro. We got to have the data up here. I'll put it up a little bit. But put an AI up here. We'll see what AI is doing at the top. So we're at the top of the range here for the trend. We'll see if that holds. But yeah, sorry, bro. There you go. All right, guys, just kind of hanging out 15 minutes here, 15 minutes. We do have manufacturing PMI dropping later on this evening. But some manufacturing data dropping in about 45 minutes or so, 45 minutes. Patiently waiting here. We're going to start to maybe trade futures here. I might short the top of this range. See if we follow in it. If we don't, it's all good. But we're going to short since we're kind of at the top of the range now in this trend that we drew. Not quite at the top, but I'll give it a little bit of time. All right, guys, we still got 14 minutes. All right, so we are in short, but it's a small trade here, guys. Break it down a little bit, up small amounts. Up a little bit. Okay, we're starting to break down a little bit now. I might take some profit here. All right, so flat on this one. Again, I'm going to give it time. We got about 12 minutes, guys. 12 minutes. Remember, manufacturing PMI data drops in about 40 minutes. All right, guys. So again, doubting a little bit. We're trying to be patient and wait. Tesla started to pop up. It's definitely helping drag the market up. I'm also going to switch this to two, just so we can have two different charts up, so we can actually see AI up there bouncing up to 3270s, almost up to 33s right now. Oil bounces back a little bit now too. Nah, man, I stick to what I know. I trade what I know. So from what I understand, no, once you get funded, you go back to step 2. But I think there's a max loss once you're funded. They're not going to let you get funded and then just YOLO the account and lose 50 grand of theirs. You're going to have a max loss on your funded account. And so, yeah, if you hit the max loss on your funded account, trading way too risky, you are going to get eliminated from your funded account. But I mean, that's a reasonable expectation. They're not going to let you gamble away $50,000 of their money. Nobody would, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, Warren Buffett said it best: trade what you know. I usually stick with what I know, and what I know is that I don't know that market at all, and so I stick to what I know. You know what I mean? And I don't know that market at all. So I think it's an important thing for people to understand. You got to stick to what you know in markets. All right, so we're bouncing up a little bit. I'll probably cut this pretty soon. Again, we're pretty flat on the day here. We haven't taken any big losses or anything like that, and so I'm just going to kind of sit back. We have the top of the trend line here. I could add to it too. I don't think I'm going to. I'd rather just wait, I think. All right, so we're popping up a little bit. Again, we're only in 2 contracts. Again, the other option is me to add this. I could add or I could just wait. I think I'll probably just wait. I'm pulling back a little bit. Tesla's still moving up a little bit. AI dipping down some. DG, Dollar General, falling down a little bit as well. I think it should be sometime before this weekend. As for when the Senate votes on the debt deal, it should be sometime before this weekend, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, guys, we're still moving up. Again, we're right at the 200. I'm going to add 1 to this. See if we reject at the top of this trend line that we've drawn here. And if not, we'll cut it and then take some larger swings at the opening bell. We still got about 6 minutes until the open here. Friday is the vote. Yeah, it should be before this weekend. Yeah, no worries, Doug. All right, guys, 5 minutes. Again, the big part of the day is already done for us here, so we still got some time, but All right, guys. So we're breaking down. We're pretty flat on this now. All right, so we're pretty flat on this. All right, so now we're a little bit break even, almost green. We'll see if it holds. All right, we're breaking down a little bit here. Again, we're sitting tight. 3 minutes, guys, until the opening bell. We do have manufacturing PMI dropping a little bit later in about 35 minutes or so, a little bit less than 35 minutes. What's up, Vern? What's up, Architect? All right, guys. Market opens pretty soon. Sorry, doing some side work here. All right, again, flat. I don't know what I'm going to do with this trade. John, who's the most famous person you've ever met? Probably Master P. Again, I told the story the other day about how I went trick-or-treating in the Baton Rouge Country Club, and we went to Master P's house, and we knocked on the door, and he opened the door, but he didn't have candy, and so he ended up giving us like some T-shirts and a CD. I also met Mystical as well, which he's a Louisiana rapper too. I might be getting them mixed up though. Maybe it was Mystical's house. I went and knocked on the door and I rode on the plane with Master P. I ended up riding on a plane with one of them. I can't remember which one it was, but that was probably the most famous person I met. Anyways, market started to break down. We got about a minute left. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the shirts. All right, guys, less than a minute left. We're up a little bit on this trade. We got 3 contracts here, but we hit the top of that trend line that we talked about, and we've basically been in this trend line since. We're flat on this trade overall. All right, so now we're up a little bit. I'm going to take some off of this while I can, because I don't want huge position heading into the open where I might, get big swings up or down. I'm going to just go ahead and get out of this and just wait here. We're pretty flat on the day. Too much volatility. I mean, we caught the top of that trend line, but I think I'll just chill here and wait. Here's the opening bell, guys. So it looks like getting out was the right move. So far at the opening bell, we've popped up a little bit. We'll see if we hold the top of that trend line. That top of that trend line has been holding really, really well that we drew here. Watching the market try. Tesla popping up at the market, man. Look at the top of that trend line I drew, man. That thing held firm. Wow. That thing held nicely here. Look at that, man. We called the very top of that. I should have stayed in my short, I guess. Look at Tesla rise here, guys. Tesla just broke the high of the day up to 204.60s at the opening bell for Tesla here, making a big ramp up. We got a lot of stuff bouncing up a little bit. And remember, we got manufacturing PMI. Mystical. Danger. You know? I remember him, man. I grew up in the early 2000s, so I can remember him. He was cool. But no, Disney dipping down a little bit. We've bounced back a lot of the last few days here. We're just kind of sitting back. Tesla is the one that's really dragging the market up right now. And I want to see if this trend line holds. Maybe we can drag this a little bit more. But look at Tesla rip. AI at 3180s. Again, Disney breaking down. Walmart at 146. Look at that trend line, man. I called the very top of that. I'm definitely one of the most humble traders ever, but I definitely have the top 3 greatest trend callers in the world right now for sure. We hit the very top of that and we rejected all. I should have held my short. I'm talking a lot about how great I am, but I cut the trade. I cut the trade at the very top of this. So hey, it's all good. Tesla rip it up though. Market is turning here though right now. Again, PMI will be interesting for sure to see what happens today. We did buy Salesforce. It started to bounce up a little bit, but the whole market's flushing. I don't know why. CRM. Yeah, I'm in CRM. We bought a little bit. Yeah, Tesla popping up. It might be the Model 3 debut. And so Elon is the world's richest man again, according to Barron's.com. Yeah, Tesla pulling back a little bit. AI starting to fall. So yeah, AI is really what's dropping right now. Nvidia's ramping up though, so that looks good. Nvidia back up to 387s. No, he got back on the plane to Texas. I see you, Sam. All right, so we're at the bottom of that trend line we drew here. Here's the trend. And look at that tap. We tapped the very bottom of that trend line here. Mullet's crap. PMI comes out in about 25 minutes. We're right at the bottom of this trend line. I'm going to go ahead and buy this dip. We're down so much and we're hitting these trend lines. I'm going to go ahead and get 4 contracts here at the bottom. Give it time to bounce off the bottom of this trend line that we've been drawing. Hey, there's a little bit of a bounce. Let's see if we follow through a little bit more here. The problem is like Tesla basically cracked lows again, and I don't like that at all. Walmart's bouncing back up. That's nice to see. A lot of chop right now. Again, I'm trying to be patient here and wait. Tesla's what's dragging the market back down now. Tesla cracked all the way under 202s, back down to basically 200s right now at 200.7s. Getting some choppiness right now, though. Walmart's bouncing back up, though. I'm also in Walgreens. Let me see what Walgreens is doing. Walgreens is down, too. We're still green on the trade, though. See if we get some bounce backs here. We've had a lot of red over the last, like, 10 minutes. And so we'll see if we get some bounce backs now. Again, we're in this, but it's a small trade, and we're just kind of sitting. Yeah, we cut half of it. I just don't trust it. It's taking too long. We might bounce. And with that said, we bounced right back up. At least my losses minimized. Pretty flat day. We'll give myself some time and try to let some trends start to really form. Walgreens bouncing back too. Walmart bouncing back. There we go. Go ahead and cut half of it there. We'll get out of this one pretty close to break even now. We'll go ahead and cut it there. I just don't trust it. So we're going to get out pretty flat on that trade and just kind of sit back and wait. Yeah, we got out basically flat. We're down like 30 bucks on the day. Just too much range and not enough follow through on the upside, I think, here. I think the chances of us pulling back down are higher, especially with Tesla cracking under these lows. Let me short this. So we're in small contract here, 2 contracts short. We might add a little bit to it as we bounce back. And we'll add one more piece to it. All right, now we're in 4 contracts. See if we get the flush back down. Test the bottom of the range again. All right, there we go. There's the flush. Took half off there. Gonna try to be a little bit more patient on the rest, but I wanted to lock in a little bit there so I don't have to worry about it. Walmart started to bounce back up. What's everything else doing? Oh, CRM is nicely profitable here. I'm gonna go ahead and take some profit there for CRM. Might as well lock some in. All right, so we just locked in some CRM profit. You love to see it. Coca-Cola. All right. Cut a little bit more here. Catching the breakdown. Going to get out the rest there. All right, now we're pretty break even on the day after that trade. We're now basically flat. We got to just be patient, wait for our edge. Coca-Cola bouncing back. Walmart bouncing back too. That's nice. Now effectively green on the day on Walmart again. Looks like we got out of that short in just the right time too. I'm going to start shorting up here at the top. We'll take 2 contracts to start it. We have a resistance level up here that we could probably add up to, but we'll see if this goes in our direction short term. Well, you have to fear the market. You can't just not fear the market. Gamblers are the ones that don't fear. You should also, there we go. You should always have an underlying respect for markets. All right, so we covered half. We're gonna let the rest break down here and see if we get a larger trend breakdown. All right, so we go ahead and cut that there. So we should be green on the day now. We're close to it. We got the short. We call it the flush. Our CRM trade's doing nice. I'm going to short this again. Take 3 contracts here. Maybe add up to 5. So we have a little bit better cushion now on the day. All right, so we're in 5 contracts here. I like the range. Flat right now. Tesla's moving a lot. Look at Tesla. CRM, man, is pumping. So Salesforce. That dip buy we got in earlier was solid. Locking a little bit more profit there. Looking for a flush. Consolidation here for the S&P. I like the up wicks. That's signaling some weak pressure or some sell pressure coming in at least. Tesla coming down. That's good. Man, Walmart just pumped over. Now green on Walmart again here. Hey, we love to see it. Still in 5 contracts here. I want to see a crack under this low level first. At least get close to this. There we go. All right, we just took 60% of the trade off. 2 contracts left. We'll let the rest really work here, or at least try to let it work. The goal right now is to build up a cushion. We'll build this cushion up. We're now green on the day. Goal is now to build up a cushion. There we go. Getting the flush breakdown. We'll go ahead and take the rest off there. So yeah, now we're green on the day. The goal is to build up a cushion so we can swing harder in terms of P&L. Yeah, I saw Chewy yesterday. Went crazy. So we did get that rejection where we short into it today. Again, we're green, but at this point, we're too extended. There's too much of a chance that we're going to bounce here, I think. Testing the lows. AI starting to move up. CRM still almost got back up to 215s. What's Walgreens doing? Walgreens fighting back. That's good. All right, get some choppiness after a big breakdown, and then we're kind of at the bottom range again. I don't know what we want to do. This trend line's been holding fairly well, though. Adjust this trend line here. Tesla's starting to look weak, though. That might influence the market there. New cars a tax write-off? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can buy new cars if you write off the taxes of it, you know, because like at that point in time, and I don't really have the justification to do it. I don't use my car on stream or anything, or I would. I promise you, I would if I could. But I think that makes sense. Like again, I pay the government tens of thousands of dollars every year in taxes, and so if I could, I would love to buy a new car and just write it off as a business expense and not have to pay the government those taxes. But you know, it is what it is. Again, sitting tight here. We got some consolidated range right now. We also have 14 minutes before manufacturing PMI drops. So we still got a couple minutes before PMI data comes out. Again, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. We cover all the big data here live for free every single weekday morning. We don't sell a course. We don't sell a service. We don't claim to be experts. We don't act like gurus. We don't charge for content. All right, so we're getting consolidation right now. We're not really doing much here. We're slightly trending down, but it's sideways for the most part. It's murky in terms of directional predictions. Yeah, but I mean, I guess the part of that you got to understand though, Chris, is like, okay, I could do that, but to a certain extent, me making a lot of money tax wise is not necessarily a bad thing. You know, if I want to get access to leverage or loans or anything like that, I can show them my 1099s and my W2s at the end of the year essentially and show them, hey, like I'm making this much, you know, and I'm going to get easier access to loans, easier access to leverage, easier access to money if I need it. And so, you know, you got to weigh the pros and cons there. You know what I mean? And so there's pros and cons to doing that for sure. You know, I guess for me, the last few years, I don't mind the government seeing I pay a lot of taxes and make a good amount of money, you know, because in that regard, if I ever needed to get access to stuff, I could pretty easily. All right, Tesla bouncing right at that low, right at the double bottom of $200 psychological level. You can see that level right there. So that's a big level here. We also have PMI data coming out in about 11 minutes, guys. 11 minutes for PMI data. I think the whole market's been pretty quiet the last few months just because of summer vacation. A lot of people out doing their own thing. All right, now we're bouncing up. Same double bottom that Tesla just hit. We're now moving in the market here. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know. All right, sideways action over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 minutes here. Pretty flat action here. We got 10 minutes before PMI data goes live too. So we do have PMI data coming out in 10 minutes. Yeah, for sure. It's all good. Again, we just don't have any momentum now. I mean, we're kind of straddling the bottom of this trend line that we drew right here on the E-mini. But haven't really broken it yet. Tesla just cracked lows. That might influence market direction. Tesla cracking lows here might influence everything. Netflix at 400. All right, guys. So yeah, we got a couple minutes. Market's trying to bounce. Tesla bouncing there. Yeah, I mean the market's pretty flat. I see some stuff breaking down though, so I might buy another short here. 2 contracts though, so we'll keep it small and then see if we get like a flush breakdown here. Maybe not. Again, this could go either way. I think. I just noticed a lot of other blue chips starting to work down, breaking down under some milestone levels like the VWAP and 200 EMA. So I don't mind taking this and seeing if we get a breakdown here in the other blue chips. There we go, getting a little bit better. PMI data in about 6 minutes, guys. 6 minutes for PMI data here. I'm going to get out of this before PMI data comes out in 6 minutes, though, so I'll look for any opportunity to take profit or cut my loss. I'm definitely not going to hold through PMI data. It's just too much of a gamble doing that. Very close to cutting this, but we're flat, so I'm trying to give it time. But again, we still have about a little bit over 5 minutes here to let it work. Yeah, I don't really want people to copy me, Carson, so just be careful, man. Remember, I have no idea what's going to happen with anything, brother. I don't know if things are going to go up, down, or sideways. I'm not really trying to make out call-outs. I'm just kind of talking about what I see here, so good luck, dude. Hope you make money, but please don't copy me. Not liable. If you lose money, always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly. Not investment professionals here. We accidentally just cut the whole trade, and I guess that's all right. Made a little bit on the day here. Again, we got a little cushion. Hey, man, this is my first time commenting. I started watching you about a month ago. Just want to know when will the debt ceiling data be released? Sorry, I'm not from US. All good. So the House of Reps approved the deal last night. It still has to go through the Senate, and that should be voted on before the weekend sometime, probably tomorrow. And so that is what's going on with the debt ceiling so far. All right, guys, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Yeah, all good, Carson. I appreciate it, bro. Good luck, man. Hope you make some money. Yeah. No, I think it's actually, I think they're betting that it's going to pass in the Senate. So I'm pretty sure it's going to pass the Senate. All right, guys. 3 minutes or so. 3 minutes. All right. Oh, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Oof. All right, guys. Three minutes. Market bouncing up a little bit ahead of the PMI data. Again, PMI is expected to show at 47. 47. Above that means more manufacturing growth. Below that means less manufacturing growth. And so data's coming out pretty soon. About 2.5 minutes, guys. 2.5 minutes. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you have not already. We appreciate the love and support, guys. Market's trying today, but all right, guys, less than a minute and a half. All right, guys, a minute and 10 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're caught up fully on the stream. We appreciate it. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Carson. Yeah, thanks, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, sir. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what does Jerome want to see. It depends on what the market fears more. If the market fears inflation, they want to see less manufacturing growth. If the market is fearing more so a recession, they're going to want to see more manufacturing growth. So it depends. Now, from the numbers we got this morning, how did the market react? That might signal how we're going to react here. But the market mostly reacted negatively from these numbers here this morning, which signaled the market might be fearing economic growth, which means that a higher than expected PMI number might be worse for the market. But again, I don't know for sure. Expectations, again, here are for 47. So above that means more manufacturing growth, but below that means less. And again, here comes the numbers right here, guys. 10 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're caught up. All right, there's the 10 o'clock number. Market popped up. Manufacturing data came in at 46.9, slightly lower than expected. 46.9 versus 47, slightly lower than expected. Prices are noticeably lower than expected. So everything was basically less than expected here. So a little bit lesser manufacturing growth than expected. And the market is reacting positively to this. So the market is actually up a little bit from this report. Again, less manufacturing growth is seen as a positive. Exactly what we theorized right before this came out. And so again, the market's actually liking this data here. It's all the way up. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to hold. Tesla started to bounce up as well, but everything was less than expected. Again, PMI came in at 46.9 versus 47 expected. And everything else was less than expected as well here. So That is what we got going on right now. A little bit less than expected here. The market seems to like it so far. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean it's going to hold, but the market seems to like it. Here's the data right here. Yeah, SPY testing that previous closing price, so kind of getting close to green here on the day here. Interesting for sure. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Tesla testing the 200 EMA right now. But so far, we reacted slightly positively from this data. Again, a little bit less than expected manufacturing PMI numbers here. So far, so good. I mean, the market's reacting somewhat positively, but it's not a huge reaction so far, and it could retrace pretty quickly back down. But slightly lower than expected manufacturing growth and expansion versus contraction. And now we're pretty much flat from the release. Yeah, market's just indecisive right now, guys. Just be careful. And again, if you want to day trade this economic release, check out Top Step. If you want to day trade futures, the futures market, no PDT restrictions. You can day trade the S&P. You can day trade the NASDAQ. You can day trade currencies. You can day trade precious metals, gold, silver, oil. Most pro traders day trade futures, and Top Step is the lowest barrier of entry, where they give you a demo, they test your skill. Just taking the challenge helps you be a better trader. And if you pass it, you get a 90% split once you're funded. So once you're funded, if you make 20K, you keep 18, they keep 2. There's free trading coaches, great resource and community, and it's like 130 something if you use my link. So it's very cheap. If you lose it, which is going to be most people because most day traders lose, it's not the end of the world. But if you pass it, you still get a lot of the benefits of trading your own money. Great pressure test, great test of skill, great skill building process. They are a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased in their favor, but check out the link right there. Again, great way to help support the channel. Market's moving up a little bit. Tesla has broken over the 200 EMA. Over the 200 EMA. JP Morgan's bouncing back a little bit too. Yeah, everything's starting to rise back here on the day. We'll see if all this stuff continues, but gold bouncing up a little bit too today. Made some on Salesforce though. Market's rising back up, man. It's been basically in this trend all day here. We're getting to the top of the trend line here. AI is moving back up. Tesla's moving back up. Disney's moving back up. Apple's moving back up. Google's been up all day on the day anyway. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think today. That is the day today. We are up a little bit, but hasn't been the biggest day for our trading, of course. We're slightly green, though. I'll take it. You know, green is good here. We'll see if we get some better results now. We're trying to pop here. Good. Watching the market try to rip and make moves. Trying to bounce a little bit. Google bouncing up some. Still at the top of this trend line here. We'll see if it continues back up. Tesla's starting to rise too. Consolidating back and forth here, guys. Testing the top of that range here. We're still a little bit up too much short term for me to really want to attack this like that. But, you know, we're watching it. Big little comeback on the markets here. So, again, the question now, I think, is does the Fed raise rates moving forward here? Does the Fed raise rates? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I really don't know whether they're going to raise rates or not. Looking at our poll numbers, we did do a poll here asking what the chat thought, whether we'd raise rates or not. Looking at our poll numbers here, 68% of people think yes, they do raise rates. 32% of people think no. Yeah, guys, so we're watching the market here. We'll see what happens. Kind of keeping an eye on everything else to see if we get some big movements or not and everything. But a big upward push for everything lately. So my swing trades are liking this. The market fights and keeps going here. AI is starting to drag the market up, I think, right now. I think that's what's doing it is AI. AI up to 33s basically right now. What's NVIDIA doing here too? NVIDIA up to 390 plus. The question is, do we break highs again? Like, does NVIDIA get up to 400 today? I think that's what a lot of people are asking here. A lot of people are questioning whether it does or not. And what do you guys think? Does NVIDIA hit 400 this week now? I mean, it's closer. It's up there. It's at 390s. NVIDIA starting to dip down too. Again, we're watching the market rip up and now it's consolidating a little bit. So we'll see if it breaks this consolidation phase again or what happens. Consolidation now though, after a big run up here. We'll see if it holds now, this momentum. All right, let me see if I can change this song. I like this song, but it's got words, so I usually stay away from words. Also, guys, check out Chart Prime. Again, I'll give one more plug to Chart Prime. Chart Prime is a trading view indicator service. You can use it in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. And there's just a lot of tools here. We got 3 of their different tools up. They use they use smart money concepts. Look at the reversal down signal here. And again, this is $35 a month, guys. $35 a month for Chart Prime. But like, look at the reversal down signal here. So this thing literally called the very bottom. It also showed you smart money concepts and gave you a strong buy signal. And so the way I personally like to use this is I like to wait for multiple different things to show up at once. And so you can see at this candle here, you had multiple signals. You had a reversal signal, a strong signal, which means like strong bullish potential. You had discount for smart money concepts. You can see this light green line where it says discounts. And following through with all that, we had about 15 minutes of big green action here. Green momentum after that. And again, this is just a small piece of what they offer. There's a ton of different stuff. Look, here's another example of this here, where you get multiple showing up together at once. You get a strong buy signal, and you get a possible reversal up at the very bottom. Literally calls the very top or the very bottom of this. And then what happens? You get a huge run up from it. And so I think there's a lot of really smart ways you can use Chart Prime to give you an edge. They're a sponsor of mine, of course, so I can't guarantee you're going to make money, but I think there's a lot of powerful ways you can use them. And it's $35 a month. And so, you know, it's very cheap to use. Y'all check them out. Again, great way to help support the channel. They are a sponsor of mine, so I'm certainly biased in their favor. But again, check them out, guys. Here's the link. And yeah, y'all be safe. Y'all be good in the market, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close it down, and we will be back tomorrow. Non-farm payroll data, guys. Non-farm payroll data, unemployment drops tomorrow. Subscribe if you haven't yet. We're going to cover all this data live for free, as we always do here, guys. As we always do. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. AI flying up right now as we speak. AI is ripping up big right now as we speak. So y'all be safe. I'll see you guys later. Good luck. Y'all be safe.